Hey, welcome to another episode of Frag-Out. I'm your host, Neil Bawadi, otherwise known as Mystery Fragrance. And we're here with Joe Average, otherwise
Hey
known as Ryan.
guys, what's going on? How y'all doing today? Wow, this is pretty cool. I always love this technology. I'm still getting used to it. I know you guys out there in the realm of technology has got this down pat.
Technology masters now, yeah.
Yeah,
We will be the ones ruling, not the robots.
yeah. They keep telling us that until the robots say no. But that's just,
Till they change their minds.
yeah, exactly. I mean, it's ridiculous.
At that point, it's okay. Whatever. If you're gonna control us robots, go right ahead.
Yep.
Can't be any worse than we're in a situation now.
Yeah.
All right. So, how are you? What's going on? What was your day like today? Huh? You working and then coming?
Oh, my day sucks, man. I'm an old man, so I have to go to the doctor and chiropractor and do all that stuff. The bright spot of today, though, was my son. You saw earlier, he was helping me set up the technology. He did what was called a commitment day at his high school, where all the high school seniors go and do like a little signing thing and put on a shirt or a hat that says what college they're going to. So we got to see his class and him, of course, go and do the commitment and declare what college he's going to. And he's, of course, going to the University of Tampa in downtown Tampa. It's a gorgeous campus. I invite you to come and visit that sometime because it is absolutely beautiful. It is so beautiful. And of course, there's fragrance shops all over the place in Tampa. So not half bad, But that was my day. How about yours?
Not bad. Just kind of like taking some care of some household chores. Basically, I got my day off, so today and yesterday were my 2 days off. So I just kind of try to take care of my normal stuff.
Do you normally have Tuesday and Wednesdays off?
Yeah, normally I do have Tuesdays and Wednesdays off. So there. I'm a Saturday, Sunday worker.
Now you work at some 5-star New York restaurant in the Hamptons, I think, right?
No.
No.
At one point I did, but no, not now. Right now I'm just working at a hospital, a cafeteria.
Oh, hey, that's perfectly fine. You got to keep them going. I got a couple of friends that work at the hospital down here, and they talk about the cafeteria food. They actually have been working there for about 20 years now, and they have actually talked about how the cafeteria food went from good to bad, and then it just became good again. And I'm like, well, how does that work? I mean, and it's the people like you and like others that keep it running and behind the scenes that we just don't know about. That
usually what happens there is, so they have one company, the hospital hires a company to do their food service, and then contract negotiation time comes and the hospital gets greedy and wants to try to make more money and lowball the food service people they have, and they get the cheaper group of people out there to do the food service, and the next thing they know, everybody's complaining because the food is not very good. And then lo and behold, a couple of years later, they ixnay that old company and then bring back the other company at a more expensive rate than they were going to pay the first time. So they always, it goes like clockwork. Every single company does this. They think they're saving money, and then it turns around and they're actually worse off than if they just took the deal originally.
But what you're
talking
about is common sense here, and it's like common sense isn't common, So and they go through these cycles. You would think that they would learn from the past, but oh well, right?
We got some people in the chat. Let's
awesome. I like it.
Saga here.
Hey, Saga, how are you? That's awesome.
Wearing Birth of Venus.
Hat. I like her hat.
Very
that is a really
fruity,
cool hat.
fruity rose fragrance. Very beautiful smelling, just not for me. For my skin, I should say. I like to smell it. I don't want to smell it on me.
Very rose heavy, that one, right? Because
Very rose heavy with a lot of. It's very fruity, and it also has a good amount of jasmine to it. So it kind of gives me slight the hair gel type of like woman's hair gel product. Remember those old Aussie commercials with those ones? So it kind of gives me that vibe, a little bit, very slightly, but it's a little bit too much fruity, flowery for me to be wanting to wear.
Now, Argos, correct me if I'm wrong, that's Christian Petrovich.
Yep.
Christian
Disney
Petrovich.
brand.
And he does his Argos fragrances, different stories in Greek mythology, I think. Or is it Roman mythology? One of those two.
It's Greek. Well, I mean, Argos is an island
Right.
of Greece. And yeah, he does it mostly out of about Greek mythology. Sometimes he'll use the Roman names for the gods as opposed to the Greek name. I think that really comes down to just what sounds better for the time. We are being joined.
That could be. Absolutely. And then and the reason why I bring that up is because there's a lot of
Say
Hey, Brian?
So
All this Greek mythology talk, I was just nodding off.
nodding off.
Usually that happens when I'm talking. Most of my people will tell me that people nod off when I'm talking.
No.
So I should become a professor. That's what I should do.
You could be a professor about sleep study.
Yeah, exactly.
And so people will fall asleep in your class, and you can just be like, all right, well, job done. Look, see, they're sleeping.
There you go. Argos, the thing I was talking about with Argos was a lot of the mythology stories have the same characters we've woven in and out of different stories. And if I remember going through and smelling the samples of Argos that I had, I remember that those carried over to how Christian Petrovich weaves in and out those similar scent profile or backbone of profiles in other scents to kind of give that familiarity across all of his fragrance offerings. You talked about the rose in Birth of Venus. There was some other stories, I'm sure, that has Venus as a character, and then you would smell that rose jasmine that you're talking about kind of weave itself in through those other fragrances as well.
Yeah, it's not so strict with that though, because you have he's got Danae, and let me bring it up here. Danae is the base for some, you can smell Danae in a few other of his fragrances, but they don't have direct correlation story-wise. But there is the one that does have direct correlation, but I don't even think it's on here, is Danae is the mother of Perseus, who, let's see if they have it on here. Yep, here it is. So Danae is the mother of Perseus, but there's no kind of through line scent profile that kind of matches with these two. So, I mean,
I don't know if I'd like to smell like my mother.
But your DNA, sir. What about your DNA? You would have traces of your mother's DNA in you, and that's what we talk about here.
I hope so. Unless I was adopted, then all bets are off.
He says he's got rose in it. It's mostly, yes, there is rose in it. But this is mostly a saffron fragrance, pretty much, to me. So
sure.
But
all right, cool. So scent of the days, or where do you want to go?
Yeah. Well, let's keep going through the chat here. We got Brian's with us now, so I don't need to show him again.
How you doing, sir? Everything all right?
Doing well.
Saying hello.
I absolutely love the artwork behind there. Is that your artwork, or you do some of that, or?
These two down on the ground are mine in the dark. These are some of my mentors, just some of my fellow artists that I just love their work. So
You need to get
this
some
guy
light on your
was
stuff.
hanging around.
what's that?
You need to get some light on your stuff.
Eventually, this is all a work in progress. This whole studio, it goes through the whole house, so it's slow coming.
He's working his way to it.
Yeah, I gotta keep smelling good in the process, and then I got to stop to do that. So it's.
What a chore to stop to smell good.
I know.
Man.
How dare you, sir? How dare you stop and smell good?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, what was your scent of the day, Brian?
Scent of the day this morning was Bottega Veneta, Illusione Bois Nu.
Hold on a second.
It's like a clean citrus woodsy. That's not gonna work. It's a weird bottle.
Yeah.
But it's a clean citrus woodsy, creamy. There's almost like a coconut in the heart of it. It's kind of compared to like a Gucci Guilty Elixir Reflection Man kind of feel, but it's like $40, so it's a pretty good,
The affordable option.
clean, easy wear. And then tonight I'm wearing. You definitely won't see this, but this is the Voyager dim light from the House of Voyager, which I'm just now exploring, and this to me smells like Christmas. This smells like, in particular, the seasonal, like the bags of scented spiced pine cones that you can buy for your house to like smell your house. If you could make that into one note, that's the opening of dim light.
But it's got tobacco, so it can't be half bad.
No, it's got tobacco and rum.
I love that breakdown. I mean, rum, tobacco,
Yeah.
sandalwood to kind of smooth it all out and in together.
Yeah.
Almond maybe don't have a little. How's the almond impression in this one? Is it creamy? Is it nutty? Is it?
It seems like it gives it the creaminess factor. I kind of thought when I sprayed it on, I was talking to Neil actually about it, that it kind of reminded me of the Rayon Insurrection 2, which is, I believe, kind of a twist dupe of, was it Pure Havane?
Yes.
I think, and I never spelled Pure Havane, but I've owned Insurrection 2, and I use it as a room spray. But I saw the similarity first, which I guess was the tobacco and the spice, but then I sprayed them side by side, and I was like, no, this is that done much better. So this was really nice. And then Austin.
Wait for me to read that.
There's got to be. There's supposed to be a perk to being an influencer, though, right?
Yeah, you get some sort of kickback, right?
I'm spending hundreds of dollars to be an influencer, so I don't know how that works.
I don't think it's. I think it's they're influencing you.
Probably. That's okay. I'll take it.
It's Stell, right? Is it Stell? Steel? How do you pronounce that?
Stell.
Stella?
Yeah.
Stella?
It's not
Stella!
Stella.
It's not Stella?
Yeah, it's not Stella. It's not
There's an
the
accent on one of those E's.
Boxcar Desire.
I mean,
Yeah.
not Stella.
No.
That would have been funny if it was Stella, you know?
No, that's a great store. If you ever get a chance to go to it, if you're in New York City, check it out. Well, they got two locations. One's in New York City, and the original location is in Brooklyn. Go to the New York City one, the Manhattan one. Technically, the one in Brooklyn is also in New York City, but go to the Manhattan one, and you'll be amazed. That is an entire store of stuff that you don't find anywhere else. it's hard to find the things, and they're so hard to find that they had to change their policy from letting people just kind of walk around and spray on what they want and kind of enjoy themselves to they have an attendant, they have somebody basically that walks around with them, and do you want to spray that? I'll spray it for you, because they had so much problem with theft that they had to have somebody there kind of like, don't touch, you're not allowed to touch the bottles anymore, really. You can smell they got like little ceramic discs that they spray, and you can smell that, and it's a good way to hold on to the note of the fragrances without having to waste paper with like blotters and stuff like that. And it kind of lasts quite a bit.
I know there's a store in Soho. There's several fragrance stores in Soho. There was one that I went to that was very much like that too. In fact, they were so militant about that their Google ratings were down. And my wife and I, when we were up there for Scent Explorer in December, went over there, and I walked in, and they were the nicest people in the place. I mean, they were so nice. In fact, I turned around. I'm not used to big old coats. And I turned around and I knocked over from really high a Mason Duroc bottle. It just fell on the floor. And I'm like, holy crap. I hope it didn't break. And thankfully it didn't break. But I like mortified. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll take it.
This is one of the reasons why they also don't like people touching things in stealth, is the fact that, yes, there are some bottles in there that are quite expensive and quite rare. And that's the added problem with if letting somebody and they drop it, they not only do they go in the back and open up another bottle for another tester. Like, there's some fragrances that they have that if it were to drop in full, that's it. Sorry. Yeah. You're never going to get to smell that one again. Yeah. And I did see one of Audiolab's bottles was broken and on like the wall behind the counter. I was like, oh man, that sucks.
Oh.
So who knows which one that was? I couldn't tell at the time, but it definitely was an Audiolab bottle.
So Brian, you did 2 scents today. You did Bottega Veneta. I'm assuming, of course, in the morning, and then you did this other one later. I'm assuming then you did that on purpose, or did you just find Bottega Veneta pooped out at lunch or a little after lunch?
I usually always kind of top off throughout the day. I always have a scent of the evening as well, just because my nose, I think my nose poops out more than the fragrance. And at that point, I mean, I live here alone, and I have my own company, so I don't have any coworkers to worry about, so I can spray what I want, which is kind of nice. But I'll normally sometimes, like when I go for my morning walks, I'll do like a 3 or 4 mile walk in the morning, like a power walk, and I'll get sweaty. So I got to smell then too. So I put something on for that. I come home and I shower, and then I'll put on my scent of the day. And then usually by evening it's gone, and I'll put on a scent of the evening. I'll try to pair them so that they overlap a little bit. But yeah, this Bottega Veneta is pretty light wearing. It doesn't last that long. And I heard that about Reflection. Is that this? Do you guys find that with Reflection that it doesn't last that long?
Man?
Really? Yeah, Reflection Man.
For a mirage? No way. That thing lasts.
Yeah. Really?
It's powdery. It's a bit powdery though, right?
Okay. It's lighter.
Powdery? It's not powdery? Reflection?
I don't find it that powdery. I mean, it's a little powdery, yes, but it's not like, whoa, that's powdery. I find Reflection Man lasts on me for like 8 hours.
8, 10, yeah.
I mean, I also think that Reflection Man, you can easily go nose blind to.
That may be it.
You let that spray that anywhere in front of your face, and you're smelling it constantly. You'll lose it in 4 hours easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
I never do that. I never spray on my front. I always spray in the back of my neck, because it's the best way to keep yourself from going nose blind to something, because it's not directly in your scent. line.
Mm-hmm.
So Austin telling about spraying Gucci guilty. Yeah, that was his scent of the day.
Nice.
Only
Is that
5
the Elixir or the
sprays.
Elixir Absolute? Is that the Elixir or the Elixir Absolute? Elixir only?
Elixir. Yeah, he's got Elixir.
Okay.
That dent in his bottle is getting pretty good, and he's only had it for like 6 months, I think. But that's why he's been very conservative here with only 5 sprays. Normally he'd be like an 8 or 9 sprayer with that. What did you wear, Ren?
Let's see here. Today, scent of the day, Not in Wilson's Bon Viveur. Oh, look at you. I can see you in the reflection. Isn't that nice? That is awesome.
Nice.
I try to keep these things reflecting good. Actually, this is one of the older bottles. Dan has switched up the bottles. I think he's favoring those non-reflective plates, which makes this one vintage. You got to love these Non and Wilson Fougere Barbershop gentlemanly type scents. It is an absolute gorgeous one. And these, believe it or not, last a long time. There are some of his that do project a little bit more, but all of these I'm getting a easy solid. I don't need to come home and respray. It's taken me all the way to the evening. So I like that. But when I do the scent of the evenings, like Brian, you were talking about, that kind of it messes with it. So it's like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Yeah. So I was like, got to do one on my arm. I got to do one on my other arm. I got to do one on my wrist, the other wrist, and just keep going, you know? How about you, Neil? What did you do, man?
And as far as artisanal fragrances, that's that's like all of us.
Yeah. Oh, I've got artisanal.
Well, I mean,
what do you want here? I mean, we can go Chypre Siam.
This is pretty artisanal, yeah.
That is artisanal, Neil. That is phenomenal. I can't wait to. I think you gave me a sample of that when we were together in New York at Scent Explorer.
Yep.
I've been wanting to jump on that one at Stella. Stell. Yeah. How about you, Brian? Any artisanal ones out there that are artisanal?
He's got plenty of.
Yeah.
He's got an audio lab right there too, probably.
Not right here. They're asleep in there.
Okay.
But
Nice.
now I've been recently exploring everything that Sean sent me, Mr. Saga, because he sent me a nice assortment, and that's already cost me money. So it is what it is.
Yep.
Actually, I am wearing one spray on this arm, and that's all I need of Martyr.
Oh, yeah.
Profundum. It's a lot. It's a lot. There's a place in town that sells that. It's like an outdoor garden center, but then they sell like the little clay chimeneas with like. This smells like the pinyon wood smoke coming out of a chimenea, but there's a metallic. I mean, I guess that's what they're saying. It's got nails and splinters and things like that in it. There is a metallic undertone, and it's just resinous and piney. And up close, I'm not a huge fan of it, but the sillage is amazing. I really do.
I actually found that like lighter and a little bit easier for me if I was going to get something that smoky.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit easier for me to wear than say Audiolab's Night of Sandal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
Yeah, because there's no escaping the Night of Sandal.
Okay.
Let me tell you, my friend. You put it once. I put one spray. They put on my wrist here, and it was just like overpowering everything. I had to when I was in the store. I had to keep this arm all the way like down as low as I could get it, so I could smell other things.
Wow.
So it wouldn't interrupt. It wouldn't like impede the scent profile. So it's a monster.
Okay.
But it's made with real sandalwood too.
Yeah.
He actually went and got real sandalwood and distilled it and did everything he needed to do to extract the actual essence of the smell of it. So
wow,
some potent stuff. Potent. I wore today a little house called Sunel Gilly, and Rock. I'm gonna save my thoughts. Me and Sean are gonna do a video about this.
Nice.
So look out for that. I will say that don't go in thinking you're gonna get the metal. Okay? That you're going in for the grunge, that you're going in for the like hard edge rock. This is a different type of rock we're talking about here.
More like pebbles, gravel, maybe,
Like Fruity Pebbles?
Like, yeah, there you go. like Fruity Pebbles, like little
Bam Bam?
yeah. I was let down. Let's just say that. I was let down on that one.
I think you had expectations, right? So
Rock. I mean, come on, Rock. And then
there's a lot of. Here's the thing, it's got a lot of subgenres.
The guitar and the hair and all of his promotional material, and I get gravel.
Well, you don't technically get gravel.
I would have actually liked gravel, like that company called Gravel that actually puts rocks in there.
Like gravel.
At least I got some rock. I mean, but I don't know. I don't know. Does it need to macerate? Does it need to mature? Am I just being too harsh? I mean, maybe, I bought it together with jazz.
You got an opinion?
I mean, when you buy something and then you have something like opposite to it that is such a gorgeous scent, your expectations really do get high. And on top of that, of course, all the promotional and marketing material. So I had a double whammy when I go to smell rock. And
so you tried jazz first?
I tried jazz first. Yeah, I tried jazz first. And I fell in love with jazz. I was like, oh yeah.
You ever smell
like
Dorian's Spleen?
Yep. Well, Dorian's Spleen, sort of like that too, right?
They have similar profiles.
Yeah.
Dorian's Spleen is a lot lighter. It's not as dense as jazz is.
And then you get into rock, and it's just like, oh, really? I don't know, But everybody has their thing about fragrances, right? My favorite perfumer. Oh, I have. Well, we talked a few about this, right? Favorite perfumer, and I actually like to hear you guys' as well, because there's a lot of them out there. I mean, we could just rattle off a whole bunch of names. We bumped into curly hair. Rascanet, yeah. Julian Rascanet, and I gave him some fatherly guidance. And let's see here. Of course, Not Wilson's John Stevens. I mean, anything John Stevens is gorgeous, because I'm a sucker for barbershop fougere, old style, old man kind of sense. And then Charbonnel, who's that? Chris Maurice.
Yeah.
He does a lot of Xerjoffs that I really like, but he's hit or miss, because he did some for didn't he do Curly Fragrance's first one? And I just, that was a disappointment.
Oh, you remember he's just following the brief, right?
It's true. Well, I think we would all agree, if we were given her briefs, we would definitely follow it. I mean, I don't know about you.
Hey, wait a minute.
See? But Chris Maurice is pretty good. I love, and Albert Maurice just goes without saying. I mean, I don't know why we would even bring up his name. Albert Maurice has got to rank up there. I mean, close to 500.
Have you worn a fragrance in the last 30 years? It probably has been I brought them around.
He's at least touched it somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many others out there, but I could keep going. What about you guys? I'd love to hear what fragrance perfumers you guys would like or are partial to.
But you, Brian?
Alberto Marias, of course, but also Quentin Biche is what I found recently that I'm like, oh, this is great. Oh, well, of course it is because he did it. I'll have to research who did it. And I'm like, oh, no wonder. That's what I find myself lately. I just bought B683. I just bought Ganymede. The new the Lascelles d'Issei, the Isimiaki salt, aquatic. I mean, I love everything he's done. Actually, the only Latafa that I own is the Teriak Intense, which is that they were saying it was kind of close to a Comrade. I don't find that at all. I bought Comrade once and returned it. I loved the Teriak Intense.
Yeah. Definitely one of my. I have like a lot of variety in my collection. But I do appreciate Cecile Zarokian's skills. She doesn't always due to the fact that she's a woman. They usually pin her to do more feminine leading fragrances, but she does do fragrances very well that are unisex that I find very interesting as well. Material is one that is in an Amouage woman's bottle, even though they kind of got rid of the title women or men for the Amouage, but they still kept the bottles the same. They probably really should have changed the bottles in general once they did that, and just you had the women's and men's side line, and then go ahead and just change the bottles because you want to not have gender specific bottles. So you might as well just change the bottles like they did with the Essence line. Just go ahead and change the thing. That way people don't at all get confused about what is this. Because even one of the Opus ones, they're different in color only, but they're the same kind of shape as the other Amouage bottles. So, but at least there is that difference in them. So
Amouage is kind of branching out, and that might be some influence with that huge minority stake owner that just picked up. In the last couple of years, they picked up a large minority owner, and that's when you started seeing these different bottles come out. It used to be those two, and now you have the Essence line, and then there's a whole nother bottle set that's coming out as well. So yeah, L'Oreal, that was it. Thank you. I saw that flash up just a second for L'Oreal. Yeah, L'Oreal picked it up.
Yeah.
So, and as far as Joan Jett's concerned, come on, man, Joan Jett's all right. I mean, come on. I wouldn't put rock in Joan Jett. It was more like Pee Wee Herman kind of rock. that rock is.
That's just your their disappointment talking now. Just a little bit.
And then somebody you mentioned, I saw in the chat, someone else mentioned a few others as far as perfumers. Alessandro Guttieri.
Yes.
You gotta love his stuff.
He is. I think the guy really wanted to be a movie director or something, because if you ever watch his his previews for his fragrances lately, they are like these epic little things, these epic little videos.
Cinematics.
Check out, if you have some time, if you haven't checked it out, check out his newest ones for his new. Is that it?
Oh no! I'm while you're talking, I'm just flashing
for the Nakamoto line and the new one. He hasn't really shown much about the new Eau Parisian line, but we'll see. We'll see what that one's about.
Ryan, have you seen Gutierrez's commercial about his new one? I think it was which line was it, Neil? Was it Orto Parisian?
It's a Nasamato one.
Nasamato.
Yeah.
And it's him. Oh, that'd be great if you could pull that up. Somebody's walking with this.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a beehive, and they're calling him back into some kind of hospital ER room or something, or doctor's office, and nobody's paying him attention. Of course, they're playing on their phone. But I mean, what vibe does that give you? I mean, I'm hoping it's different from the rock metal band and the Pebble orientation
All right.
with
I
Gilly.
found it. We can actually just
watch
watch it. So let's watch this. At the stage. See if I can get a full screen. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get it sound. Can you guys hear it, or are you just watching it?
Both.
Something. Yeah, there's a little bit coming in. This is definitely cinematic. I mean, look at this. Micro Deliria. Oh, it's coming up soon.
Pretty quick.
Yes, it is.
Oh, ho, ho.
Now, what do you think that's gonna smell like?
Aesthetically, I know what the video film-wise took me to. It's a mashup of Predator. That was the first thing I thought, with all the digitizing of the vegetation. Clockwork Orange, because it looks like he's dressed as Clockwork Orange, and Avatar.
Okay.
The movie, not the cartoon.
The film, yeah, the James Cameron Avatar
Yeah.
with that purple glow. As far as what it smells like, I don't know. Sean in the chat just said, well, Austin said something too there too. He and I talked about this video on Instagram, I guess last week, and we discussed how it looks like a phallic magic mushroom. Magic mushrooms, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Is it going to be Sadanaso Elixir?
There you
Is it
go.
Sadanaso Elixir with the phallic? You know, I mean, he's already done the phallic gimmick.
Yeah, he already done the phallic symbol on his bottle, so yeah.
Boho Boko did a magic mushrooms release not that long ago. Look at that. What was it?
No, it's right here. Sure.
Black cherry mushroom? No,
No, it's magic mushroom.
magic
Oh,
mushroom. There we go. Look at that.
Wow.
Same juice color, red, maybe. I don't know.
It's really weird because sometimes you'll catch it in the light. It's purple. Sometimes
It's like iridescent.
yeah, it is almost iridescent.
Wow.
So
What is that? What vibe? I mean, what does it give off? Is it earthy or is it
oh yeah, it's very earthy.
okay?
Kind of like very like alcoholic too, in a sort of way. I definitely get some like patchouli from it, like the woody kind of patchouli. It's definitely an interesting wear. Not your typical kind of like fragrance for sure. Like this might be the closest thing to what the Nasamato is going to smell like.
I have a good feeling that's probably going to be the case. In fact, magic mushrooms there, believe it or not, made it into mainstream news. I was reading an article on News of the Weird somewhere in Utah or something, in Nevada or something, and it was an article about that release. And they were like, oh yeah, magic mushrooms. This is a psychedelic, you know, talking about this stuff that, of course, is, you know, just noise. But yeah, there you go. There's the mushrooms there. That's probably where that one's going to go from or come from.
Definitely,
Wow.
definitely interesting thought that it's going right into his brain, the mushroom. So we'll see where that is.
Yep. But yeah, Gutierrez, phenomenal. Nice Order of the Engineering ring. Yeah, that's that's exactly right. You need to get this. So this is a ring given to engineers when they first become engineers professionally, and it's a reminder of a steel bridge that failed, and the bridge was called Galloping Gertie because the bridge, when it was built, didn't have enough resonance bracing, and so the bridge literally did this number, and people would drive their Model Ts across it, daredeviling it, and one time it just collapsed. One day it just collapsed, and it's the steel from that bridge, the original rings, not today. That is a reminder to us engineers that what we do, although we have fun, actually affects lives. And we need to kind of keep that in mind, and what we do is actually serious. So yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for picking that off. Not too many people know about that.
We got Fragrance Time in the house, Mitch in the house. What's up, Mitch? What was your saying of the day, Mitch? Showing off more people. His no-buy month that he had turned into like a waterfall buy the following month. I think so, I remember someone else doing that who happens to be right in this group talking right now with us. Last year you had you.
Oh, I don't know.
I think it was like September. It was September, and was it 2 months? September and end October, and then along came December, and then you just
September. I managed to do a full no buy, and I went on daily, did daily posts for motivation to not purchase. And then of course we said, enjoy the collection that you have. And for you guys out there in the world, it doesn't matter if you have 1, if you have 10, if you have 100, enjoy what you have. No buys sound really tough to do. They are not. When you're on the other side of it, you realize, wow, I can, have some self-constraint. I can plan and, coordinate, not just buy to buy, and definitely don't have FOMO. That's a really big thing, and a really serious thing that we addressed in that one place that I was doing the postings on. And it was tough for me because September is my birthday. I have a birthday in September, and so people are like, aren't you going to get this new release? Aren't you going to get this new release? I'm like, I can't do it. But thankfully we had Scent Explore right in December. And I said, you know what? I'm going to reward myself with the no buy if I succeed, which I did, by going to Scent Explore. And I met up with you, Neil, and we got a whole bunch of stuff.
Got a few things.
One or two things. Yeah. So Scent Explore.
At the end of the show.
Oh yeah. Nothing from Sarah Baker though.
Nothing from Sarah Baker.
Nothing from Sarah Baker. Actually, so Scent Explorer, and we could talk about this one and the other one, is coming up a month earlier this year. You guys know about it?
Coming up in October instead of. So I'm wondering if they're going to go on sale earlier than they normally do. Normally they go on sale in like July or August. So with it coming up a month earlier, maybe it might be coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
So they might actually go on sale next month. We'll have to keep an eye out on I usually keep an eye out on Max's IG channel to see, because he'll usually, because if you don't know, Max, he's the one that basically coordinates all this.
Max Forte.
Yeah, Max Forte.
He does Forte. He does perfume with 2 U's. He also runs Imperium of Scents Facebook group. And you actually showed me him, Neil, when we were up in Scent Explorer. That's like his gig.
Yeah, that's his thing. I'm gonna try to get an interview with him at Sun Explorer this year. Maybe I can get it like before the show or something like that. I might try to go there a day earlier just to see if I can get him to sit down with me before the chaos of the show.
There you go. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm definitely gonna get a hotel this time near the show, and I'm gonna try to see about getting a suite kind of set up, so that way I have an area that would be like a seating area. So I'll invite people to come in, like, oh hey, come and do the interview here, after the show or before the show or whatever you want to do. So that way it's a little more comfortable environment, a little less noisy, and it's just something that we can just talk, chat, half an hour, 45 minutes, and then you can go about the rest of your evening or whatever.
I can only imagine that Neil going up to Max saying, "Hey, Max,
come to my apartment. Come back to my
suite.
Yeah.
We can share some alcohol fragrances.
I might have to buy some alcohol. I don't drink, but I'll buy something nice. Here you go. Here's a little cocktail for you if you want.
You have to entertain your guests. You have to
entertain your guests. Exactly.
Craft services.
Yes.
You know how that goes.
I spent many years in the food industry, so I know a lot about the food service and taking care of your guests. And sometimes you may not drink yourself, but you have to, or may not eat a certain type of food, but you do have to provide it for the guests if they like it. So,
have you, Brian? You've been to Scent Explorer, I'm sure. Yeah.
No, I was just getting ready to ask. Does it sell out pretty fast?
No,
it doesn't.
Well, not yet. It hasn't sold out. It hasn't sold out super fast yet. It hasn't gotten to that point. They've been pretty smart about expanding the space that they needed.
Yeah.
So the 7 years before last year, they had it at this one location that was decent size. It was about as cramped as this one was, but it was just less people and less booths. So they've done a good job at kind of like expanding as they needed. Last year was 2 floors, and it felt as cramped, like I said, as the other place did. And they're probably going to go to a 3rd floor this year. So we're going to have 3 floors of fragrances.
Nice. It's exciting.
I'm saying, man, I'm going to ask him when I do get to talk to him. I was like, so when's the Javits Center? Like, is that next year? Because we're getting there. We're getting to the point where we need this space, like an actual convention floor space to have this thing in New York City. So,
dude, just take it to the top and go to Madison Square. Isn't that like right around the corner?
It is from there, from where the one they've been having, but as far as like price wise, yeah,
no.
You much better go to Javits unless you want to pay. Unless your ticket you want to pay is like $400 to get in there.
Yeah.
I'd much rather go to the Javits Center and only pay like the 100 and maybe 20.
I really enjoyed it, and I told my wife Bree. She said, "Would you ever want to come back here?" And I go, "Absolutely, this is great." And then Sebastian Yara, the guy for the perfume guy with the hat, he starts his own up. Did you guys see this?
Yeah.
Scent SF.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh man, and he's got himself a lineup, an enviable type lineup.
So you're talking about in San Francisco then, right?
In San Francisco, SF Scent Fest in San Francisco, SF. And so it's just absolutely amazing. He starts rattling off. Some of the names were over at Scent Explorer. Granada, he said Zerjev's going to be there. House of Cosmo is going to be there. Some others. And then there was others that I've never heard of. And of course, some local brands from San Francisco. But there was an interesting one that he said was going to be there. And I'm terrible that I can't make it, which was a company or a museum that has the recipes of old fragrances, like historic fragrances, like
Okay.
fragrances from Egyptian times. And they recreate these fragrances, and they are going to have a session where you can go and actually smell them around the area, and they tell you all about these. So it's like a huge history lesson from this this place. And I'm France, I think it is. It's some museum in France somewhere.
Wow.
In Grasse, I'm guessing.
Maybe. But absolutely amazing that he's got this connection to be able to come in and share this. It could you imagine that? All the history buffs that are gonna, yep, there you go. Yeah. All the history buffs and fragrance, really people that are really into fragrances, not the, hey, this just smells good.
Yeah.
That's gonna be amazing. But I just can't make it out to San Francisco.
San Francisco, what a great place to visit. That's all. I'll leave it at that. What a great place to visit. Definitely don't stay there. But yeah, this is kind of quick, actually. Like, when did he announce this?
3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know.
Like,
it's a lot to coordinate.
Yeah,
as quick as it's happening.
yeah. This, like, especially for people that are interested to go to something like this, I think that's too short of a window to plan out a real trip, globally too, especially in today's setting. You want to buy your tickets like 6 months in advance, pretty much, to get the best price. So you would have had to have immediately bought your tickets as soon as you saw this. So I don't know how the turnout's going to be for this. Like, did he talk about the price?
I got they have 1 day passes, they have 3 day passes.
Oh, so they have multiple.
And they have VIPs of those, so you can get a VIP 1 day or a VIP 3 day. And I think a 3 day regular is $100. Not terrible at all.
No, that's fine. Do you get anything for, like because the Scent Explorer, they give you a bag of samples, which, let me tell you, if you go to Scent Explorer and you pay the $100, you're gonna have more than $100 in that sample.
Yeah,
agreed.
I can imagine.
Absolutely agreed.
Yeah,
agreed.
Granted, you're paying the rest of the part, like you're paying the hotel's price, you're paying food price, you're doing all that, the flight price. But if you live locally, close enough to drive there for 1 day, it's worth it. You could potentially just go there for 1 day, pick up your bag, maybe spend the day on the floor, enjoy yourself, and then go home with this over $100 worth of sample bag and be like, well, I had a good time that day and I got a whole mess of samples. I'm good.
Nice.
And I see some people on like the Facebook groups selling the sample bag too. That's another thing you could do if you were so inclined to do it. I don't, but that's to each his own.
And in case you just happen to forget your bag on the first day, you can always try to talk to them for a second bag on the second day.
You can, sure. Or if you just wait till the end of the show, and if they have any extra bags from people that never picked them up, they'll be like, yeah, just take it. It's not here. But also at the end of the show, if you happen to stick around and get cozy with somebody, one of the owners of the brands, you could potentially just buy fragrances, whole bottles of their testers, because they'd rather just not have to pay the shipping and handling back to where they're from, and sell you at a discounted price the bottle that they just have there on the show floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like slashed prices we're talking about here. Like
except Sarah Baker, just
except Sarah Baker. She'll keep all her bottles. She's taking them home.
She's taking them home.
You Ren, you get none.
I get nothing. You get nothing. No fragrance for you.
Yes. No soup and no fragrance.
No soup, no fragrance, no joy. Anything in the chat? Neil, I don't see the chat on this side.
Yeah, kind of the chat. You can look at it from your side.
Oh.
If you look on the right side of the screen
Mm-hmm.
in the program in StreamYard, there's a little thing called comments.
Oh, look at that.
And it will bring up the chat. Now, this is the chat that gets filtered in from YouTube.
Cool.
So
Look at that. That is awesome. Cool deal. Gotcha. Nice. See, learning something new every day, man. It's an old man. You guys don't get old. It sucks.
as long as you learn something new every day, you're doing good. That's how you stay young. I look at it.
So how about some fragrances, guys? You want to chat about some fragrances? I love y'all's fragrances. Y'all, especially from Stella. I'm gonna keep this pronounced. Stella.
Well,
love their stuff, man. What kind of other stuff you got going on?
let's see. I can bring out one of my new ones.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
Mint Rose from Audiolab. No, it just kind of reminds me of a little bit. It's kind of funny. I didn't really notice it until I smelled it again today. Ren, you might be surprised, but it actually has similarities to this.
Okay.
So-
I mean, that's
Do I have your attention? Do I have your attention now, sir?
I mean, we're talking about Mr. Elegance here.
Yeah.
And you're talking about something that says mint and rose. I mean, talk to me about the similarities that you're getting there.
I get the same kind of sharp, like almost minty. I almost equate the same type of sensation as smelling horseradish to this. So if you've ever smelt like fresh horseradish, I get that same very sharp scent profile from both of these. So, but this one, I think, is there rose in this? I think there is rose in this as well.
There might be.
It's not nearly as prominent as this one, obviously.
Right.
I mean, in the name, you're going to call yourself Mint Rose. You better have some rose in it.
Yes.
But it almost kind of has, like a geranium. Let me see. You got open lick.
Oh yeah, I like geranium pour monsieur.
So
I really
it's
do like
kind
that
of got that geranium-esque kind of mintiness to it as well. Let's see if I can pull up the notes here. Let's see.
Brian, Mr. Saga sent you samples. Was it Audiolab samples that he sent you, or was it something else?
No, I got a Liquide Imaginaires.
Oh yeah.
One from them. I got the Liquide Gold,
Ah yes.
and that's one I've been wearing it a lot. And then
Saffron. I get it's saffron and tuberose for me mostly.
yeah, it's I kind of compare it to the Xerjoff's Decus without that bubble gum open, like the true bubble gum. I mean, not bubble gummy.
Yeah.
So I liked it. I like it a lot. But the one that I'm almost, this was full, but House by Zernel Gilly, it's almost gone. So this is the one I just ordered because.
Did you go to House to buy?
A good sign that I'm going to miss this when this is gone. So that's a good sign to order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you pull up
That is
mint rose there?
Yep. The mint rose. And pretty much this is pretty accurate to what I get as far as the main accords. Very green off the top, but then you get the rose in there, and it is fresh and musky. I don't like. Maybe the violet is there, kind of like structurally. It kind of gives it. If I was to say it, to compare it, but this is like what they're saying here, and that's pretty much what it is. But I don't get nearly as much violet. It's kind of soapy in a way too, so I'm not really sure. Might be just the musk that he's using that gives it kind of like that soapy smell.
I mean, because you're comparing it to Mr. Elegance, and Mr. Elegance has more of those darker features.
It does. This is much lighter.
Yeah. I smell Mr. Elegance, and it just takes me to a 1950s wooden structure with high ceilings, beadboard on the ceiling, spinning fan that's rickety, and old barbershop leather chairs worn out through the centuries.
It's also spicier too.
Come out and shave your hair, and he's spitting in a spittoon. That's the kind of vibe I get with Mr. Elegance. And Mint Rose, just the name, I don't feel would give that kind of vibe. Of course, I've been, known to have been wrong plenty of times. So I've got to try that. I've got to try that and see how that one is. But how? Oh, there you go. Here's Mr. Elegance. Where are the notes there?
So there's Rose.
Rose, yeah. Patchouli in the base. Eucalyptus to kind of give it that mentholy type vibe.
I haven't tried anything from this house. This is Omar, right?
Yep. This is Omar School Scent.
Yeah.
Yep.
I haven't tried anything from the house.
This is still available, right, Ryan? I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Did they just take away the Mr. part and it's just called Elegance now?
No, I don't think he's done that yet with others. I think he's only done that with that one. Was it Radiance or Mr. What did he call him? Mr. Atrium? Is that the cat?
Yeah, I don't know. Yes.
But
or just Atrium, yeah.
Atrium, yeah. Yeah, there's no more Mr. Which was very interesting because that's how he started the brand. The brand was geared around men's fragrance kind of.
He wanted to make a line of fragrances that were masculine.
And fragrances truly are neither masculine or feminine leaning. It's how we spin it to market it. But given that he's come out, I think he's on 12 or 13 releases with the Mr. in front. He's kind of moved away now from having Mr. and releasing them with just the name, which makes sense. I mean, his ethos is maturing and evolving, so that totally makes sense.
Yeah, and he even discusses with us. He's got a Discord group, and we're in the Discord group, and occasionally he'll come into the group and he'll be like, "Hey, what do you guys think of this? Like, if I change the direction of the house, and we do something like this," and he asks our opinion and stuff. How much is it just he wants to hear us say, "Yes, that sounds good, go for it," or how much would he change his plans if everybody said, "No, that's terrible. That's a terrible idea. Don't do that." So far, most people are kind of supportive with what he throws out there. So I'm thinking about doing this. What do you guys think about that? And people are like, I mean, it could work. Potentially, anything could work if you do it right.
Yep.
So
what's been your favorite from the house?
So I really felt like the first couple of releases were kind of like his version of something, right? The Mr. Fragrant, which was the first one, I really felt it smelled a whole lot like Effing Fabulous by Tom Ford. But it was different enough that it wasn't like a clone, but it was definitely I felt some sort of inspiration was there in the fragrance. Then came Majestic, or let me see, it's
Romantic.
Romantic, yeah. Then came Romantic. And if I remember correctly, I think, because I don't have it anymore, I had a bottle. To me, Romantic smelled a lot like PDM's. Here. No. Don't break anything. Come here, you.
Yeah. Carlisle? Oh, Pegasus
Okay.
exclusive.
But not the exclusive version, just the regular Pegasus.
Okay.
Just a little bit different. So that was kind of how I felt Mr. Romantic was. After that, then it was Mr. No, wait. Then it was Mr. Radiance.
Radiance.
Right? Radiance didn't work for me, unfortunately.
It was a bomb, dude.
It was a bomb for me.
Huge. It was intense. A lot of oils in that one. It was very, very beefy and robust. It was a fruity kind of one. It was kind of a summery vibe kind of one. Was it? Did it have?
Oh wait, no, that wasn't. So Mr. Maritime.
Maritime
was the next one. That was the one that didn't work for me because it whatever the cologne he used in the oils smelled like burnt rubber on my skin. So it was just like, oh well, it smelled nice on paper, but it just didn't work on my skin. But I think that was the first one that was like, okay, this is different though. This is not like a rehash. And then came Mr. Majestic, and Mr. Majestic to me had a lot of cardamom, and kind of smelled like his version of what La Nuit Lone Blue Electric would be like. So I kind of like Blue Electric better, so I kept Blue Electric, and I just sold that one. And then came Mr. Elegance, and this kind of like plays into John Stevenson's wheelhouse, and I think that's why this one works the most. And John Stevenson is the one who did the first four.
No,
this is the last one of the first. It was the first five. So there are some similarities between this and some other John Stevenson's work.
So Mr. Elegance, when it came out, it was such a I don't know, an emotional response from me on it that I wrote you remember this, Neil? I don't know if you remember this, a 3-part full fragrance review of just this perfume. And on the last part, what I did was I tried to bring people with 7 other different colognes, a journey to bring you to Mr. Elegance. It was here, we're starting here with the backbone of the idea of the fougere and the barbershop. And then here you make it a little dirty, and here you make it dark. And the fragrance number 6 and number 7 of that journey were John Stevens creations to get close to Mr. Elegance, which is a John Stevens. And so what Neil was saying about how there are similarities of them, I played into that to try to write that review to tell people, okay, this is, if you don't have Mr. Elegance, let me try to bring you to that concept with this journey through 7 other colognes. And it was something else. It's a wet kind of woody, I don't know what you get, Neil, but I get a wet, old building, woody, musty smell that's nostalgic, that's masculine, that just kind of transcends eras.
We got Open to join us. Welcome, sir.
Hey. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Evening.
It's a very late
Good to
evening
chat.
for you.
Yes, it's very late, but my work week's over because there's a holiday tomorrow, so I'm able to stay up late for once.
Enjoy your holiday.
Thank you.
I see you're showing off your watches there. Austin is probably very jealous.
Oh,
He
these
sees
are
you.
my. I mean,
Hold on.
Yeah,
hold on,
I mean,
Austin. There you go.
So this is actually not. This is just a Casio, or I mean not just, but this is one of my favorite, more affordable watches. This is like an Oceanus. This is a line of watches that they only released in Japan, but now it's a global release, and it's like a solar quartz watch. But it's really really nice for the money. I think it looks really sweet. And the other one is a Citizen chronograph,
Nice.
also solar. Yeah, but these are, I can put them away. I'm like charging them right now because they run out of battery if I don't.
Yeah.
And he has his Rolex stored away in his other
Yeah, we'll put those away so Austin doesn't feel some FOMO. Or...
No, Austin has actually got a really nice collection. I've seen him wear at least like 2 or 3 different watches by now. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, I mean, what's new? I was curious. So Brian, he told me in chat earlier that he got a new audio lab. I don't know if you've talked about it before. Like, have you talked about the Cedar?
No, the Cedar Throne is the one that I got.
You have it there. You have it there with you, or you have it back in the room?
No, it's in there. It's in there. Let me look up the notes.
I can get it. I'll pull it up.
Oh, okay.
If you want to go grab the bottle, you can go grab the bottle.
No,
you don't have to.
Like,
no. What I got from it, I mean, something called Cedar Throne. I would expect it to be a lot heavier and woodier than it is. I found it to be, if you took Wulong Cha by Nishane, because there is kind of a tea, something tea in there. I guess it's the herbal, some sage.
The herbal, probably a cord.
I find it, if you remove the citrus out of Wulong Cha and added in some cedar, that's what I get from it. It's a lot lighter wearing than I thought. It's gorgeous. It'd be great for spring weather. But it's, I would say, let's see how they rate those notes. Lavender.
Well, they say a lot of lavender. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think the frankincense would be lower.
For you?
The herbal, the sage, the herbal might be tied with lavender.
I mean, this person here, whoever it was, gave it a negative herbal notes.
Well, I don't know. I get something tea-like. In fact, I get a lot of the sage and chamomile wise that Audiolab did or has done. I get elements of that without the quite as much as the chamomile. I think the chamomile in the sage and chamomile, that didn't work on my skin very well. It was something a little too, I don't know, too tea-like. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely want
so
to try
do you
out.
get like that really? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was wondering because you mentioned oolong cha. Do you get that really green grassy feel still? Like, because if you say you take out the citrus, that still leaves that sort of really green, that Litsea cubiba pettigrain thing that is in oolong cha. That's like really, I feel like it's almost sharp and grassy, but I like that about it.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Somewhat. I would dial that down a little bit too. I think the citrus is helping that sharpness, and if you took that citrus out, that fresh spicy there, and on the screen, the main accords, I would bump fresh spicy up in that list. Soft spicy, I would say, is in the dry down. I don't get anything animalic from it at all.
I mean, there's only
some cedar really gives that oily, fresh green stuff. So maybe the cedar actually gives you that sort of green freshness, like almost like a hinoki wood.
Yeah. Actually, I get that a lot. I get more than like an actual like fresh cedar log. I get like more of a cedar chest, like it's already been milled and processed slightly. But it's gorgeous. I love it. It's not what I expected at all, but it's definitely a pleasant surprise.
Let's see what other people like in it. Oh, someone said B612 from Nishane.
See, and I haven't smelled that.
Oh,
And
I've smelled it. It also has a lot of lavender, but I think B612 is very, very sweet, and it doesn't sound like the one that you described is very sweet. I think B612 has a lot of musk and vanilla in it in the base.
It has. There is some
Personally.
sweetness, I think, coming from the sage. So the sage is doing something to sweeten it somehow, because it is like a sweetened tea, but with no citrus in it.
Okay.
On my skin anyway.
Which is interesting because sage can do a lot of things. Sage can even go animalic on some people. It's very very interesting material, and there's also a difference between clary sage and sage. So it's a really interesting, and I think underused material. So this one sounds really interesting, and you know, I love olibanum. So olibanum also is a material that's, I think, really misunderstood. People think olibanum frankincense, people think smoky, but it's not necessarily smoky. Like high quality frankincense is going to be green, it's going to be minty, it's going to be citrusy, it's going to give you almost like a slight fruitiness. It has this really gorgeous peppery smell as well. I mean, olibanum is a very, very complex material. Ooh!
Oh,
Nice shirt, man.
you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
All right, let's check it out.
Sorry.
Wait. Oh, hold on. There you go, Austin.
There you
Oh,
go.
look at that. Nice.
Not bad, huh? Let's show you guys what some real weather looks like.
I had nice weather. I don't know.
There's
Some
Wow.
there. Some trees.
Oh, you're breaking up.
Anyway, I just want to say hi real quick. I'm about to make some dinner.
Enjoy.
Nice. What are
And
you
then also
having?
show off the 50 pounds.
Show up
What's
and
for
watch.
dinner?
Yeah, what's for dinner? Oh, he's just gone. Nothing's for dinner.
Nothing's for dinner. It also compared that cedar throne to black oud, I think, didn't it?
Oh.
And
Yeah, it did a little bit. Yeah,
and as I own black oud, there's cedar in that, but they're
you
not.
know, you
the same
wouldn't
at
feel
all.
that they're close enough to be
No.
too similar. Yeah.
But that's also
John
fragrant.
C. wearing Right of Way by Outer Realm. This one looks interesting too. Not surprising, John, with the smoky note in there. John loves his smoky notes. Don't really know much of them. Oh, good citron. I always do love a good citron. See, lotus, so it's kind of very airy. But yeah, look, the top thing, incense, right up John's island.
Lotus is funny as well. It has a sort of weird watery note sometimes. Like lotus can smell almost a little bit off-putting to me. Like even like a tulip, it has this sort of weird chestnutty watery note sometimes. Also
Yeah, it's very-
green and
It can
yeah,
be very
it's-
airy, for sure. But yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from. How do you liken it to, John? If you're still in chat, if you're not still running, John usually ends up like joining us while he's running. So, see if he comes.
Apparently-
he's taking better
Austin-
care of his body than. Yeah, sorry.
Austin's making Korean barbecue tacos. I think we should all go to Austin's.
Only Ren is close. Only Ren is close enough to actually show up at his house.
I'm going.
It's time for Ren to go. He's got to go to Austin's to go have some barbecue
I'll
tacos.
be right back, guys. I'm going to log off. I'm going to log in on his place.
I'm assuming that's Korean. That could just be dinner is K, barbecue tacos.
Yeah,
You know,
maybe
I
it's
don't
just
know.
K. Maybe he meant Kansas City.
It could be Austin. Chime in. We need to know.
Is it Kansas City or is it Korean?
The people want to know.
The people want to. Yeah. What about you, Ophalek? You have any like standout fragrances that you've recently smelled that you hadn't like first time finding?
Yeah, so I mean, I think my big thing recently is getting really deeply into the Amazons range. I think you've seen that. Like I posted a video about it as well. But today I also went back there and I sprayed myself with some more. I picked up a load of these little 15 mLs, which I think is a really nice format because you get to test like these fragrances in a good size spray. And these are nice. These are nicely made as well. I mean, it's just a friction fit cap, but it's a nice little package. And you can buy 4 of these for I think 200 something bucks, which is very expensive, but it's 60 ml. And when you calculate it with the 100 ml, I think the 100 ml is 330 bucks. So actually, the ml price is the same for like 4 15 mls that you can pick all of the ones that you want from the whole range to try. Compared to 100 ml, which is, I mean, most brands won't offer that service, right? Some brands will just say, okay, you're shit out of luck. I mean, we don't even provide any 2 ml samples. You just buy the whole bottle, or you can get lost, or you can try to get a decant from somebody. But my store is running. Yeah, it's really bad. And that's why I think MS should get some props, because this is a really nice service. And they come in this like beautiful little herringbone cotton MS pouch for like traveling, which is, I mean, just a nice touch. And my store is running a promo. So right now, these are exceptionally cheap. I think I paid 20 euros for each of these. And that's almost unheard of, like, for a private line. And yeah, I had to pick some up. So the ones that I picked up were the ones that they had available. Luckily, one of my favorites is there. This is the Cuir d'Ange. I don't know if you can read it. Cuir d'Ange. That's one by Jean-Claude Helena, because some of them are now made by Christine Nagel, the new in-house perfumer.
Yeah.
And this one is interesting because it's like a powdery, really soft, powdery floral leather, but there's like a juicy citrus in the top, and then also a warm spice. I think there's some cumin in here, which is really funny because on the one hand you have this sort of, the name, like it says, angelic leather, really powdery, heliotropy, almondy, soft and elegant. But then there's this little bit of something sensual in there, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, this one is so fantastic. It's like one of my absolute favorite leathers, and I think I have 5 of these now, so I won't run out of those. And then the other ones that I got was this Cèdre Sambac, which is cedar and jasmine sambac, which is such an interesting combination. This one is by Christine Nagel. And this one has this, it's the most perfect balance between the woody note and the floral note. So it's perfectly unisex. Oh, you're still looking at the Cuir d'Ange? Oh, no, this is Cèdre Sambac, yeah. And it has just a touch of that sort of jasmine-y indoor, but it's not poopy at all. It's just, it makes it smell natural. It makes it smell real, like a real flower. And then you have this dry cedar that's very clean. And so actually the cedar cleans up the jasmine. And that's one of those that actually lasts on skin quite well as well. And the final one is the Agar Ben.
I like the brand's approach to this line being kind of like just well-made, kind of simplistic, but yet very high quality in their construction. So
no, absolutely. I mean, this one was. Sorry, what were you going to say, Brian?
You say how much they were?
So if you can get them on sale, you can get like 4 of them, he was saying, for the price of like a normal bottle in the store. But he's got...
No, I think the regular... Sorry, the regular price... The regular price for 4 is, I think, 220, 240 bucks. So 60 bucks, around 60 bucks each of the 15 ml. That's the regular price. For me on sale, I paid 20 euros each. So that's like less than half. So think about like roughly 100 bucks for 4 of these. That's what I paid. And then the big bottles are around, I think, 330 for the 100 ml, and the 200 ml is around 500 normal price. But again, I never paid retail for any of these. And it's really interesting. This is actually one of the first private lines. If you look at the dates, like all these big brands like Dior, Chanel, they ended up like with these big private lines, but Hermes was one of the first as well, and that was one of the things that Jean-Claude Helena introduced a while back, like in the early 2000s. And his idea was to make some sort of like really elegant, transparent, watercolor style fragrances that really follow that Hermes style of not shouting, right? Hermes is very elegant, very luxurious, very expensive, but they don't shout, right? If you look at even Hermes clothes, they don't do like that Balenciaga thing, right? They don't do that. Even like some of the Dior clothes nowadays are maybe a lot bigger with the patterns on it. Hermes doesn't really do that. So most of the line is still eau de toilette, which is a tough sell for a lot of people because people read eau de toilette, they think this is weak. They think this won't last. They think, oh, why would I pay $300 for an eau de toilette that I'm getting ripped off? When there's, in terms of production cost, it doesn't really make a difference if you do an eau de toilette or like an extrait de parfum. Not immediately. It depends on the ingredients, and most of the price is still in the bottle and the packaging anyways, even with the most expensive perfumes.
Yeah, with this the leather, actual leather on the top, and this one I remember smelling this. And
yeah, this is like, real leather on the caps. This is a very, very nice cap.
Yeah, I remember it like in the store.
And
go ahead.
It's polished on the top as well. So these are very, very nicely made bottles as well, for sure. But yeah, I can recommend the range. I think they're all very well made. Some of them may not be the most like immediately like coming in punchy fragrances, but I think when you look at when they came out, I mean, Ambre Narguilé, that one, or Narguil, that one spawned a whole range of fragrances right now. I think I would say it's fair to say that Ambre Narguil sort of is responsible for Wajan by Parfum de Mali, and then now Angel's Share as well. I think that's kind of where you can trace all of these spicy, boozy, tobacco, fruity fragrances, like that sort of cinnamon apple pie thing.
Yeah, they are too, right? They all line them up here, which is there's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising that Hermes was kind of like the starter of them.
When I got into that DNA with Wajan, it led me into the Daniel Hossier right there, the Ambre Tabac.
Okay, yeah.
And any review I watched, it was always referred back to this Ambre Narguilé. I mean, it set the standard for that DNA. Seems like.
Yeah, and I like Wajan. I think it's well made. I think it's one of my more favorite Parfum de Mali. But when you compare it to Ambre Narguilé is just that more. It's a little bit more balanced. But I think Wajan has it's a really, really big cinnamon clove note and also lots of that tonka. And I think Ambre Narguilé is just a little bit more Hermes, a little bit more airy, a little bit more three-dimensional. You know, sometimes I think about music and fragrances, and one of the things when you evaluate a good sound system is the separation of the instruments. I don't know if any of you are into hi-fi, but so essentially when you listen to like a mix, like an orchestra, you want to hear the strings and the drums and the woodwinds and everything, and you want to hear them separately from each other. You don't want them to mix you want them to mix in the end, but you want to hear each of them when you listen for it without the disturbance of the other ones in that sort of sound. And I think like the best, or at least one style of fragrances, maybe not the best, sometimes you want them to blend, but one style of these fragrances is like where you can smell each of the notes. So in Ambre Narguilé, I think if you focus on it, you can smell the different notes, and it feels like very clear. I mean, there's no muddying of the waters. It feels like it's not milky. It's very, I mean, it's almost like cliche to say, oh, Jean-Claude Ellena's fragrances are transparent. I mean, that's like almost like you can play bingo with that. You can do a drinking game. Anybody speaking about Jean-Claude Ellena, he will say, oh, these are so transparent.
This man here is one of my favorite perfumers for sure. For like the Hermes line itself, like what he created in the Hermes line, but also like the other things he's done outside of the house too. Never tried any of these, but you got the Bulgari, all the Bulgaris. He's also done a couple of Frederic Malls. These are.
He's also written a couple of great books, and you should check out some of his books. I actually thought I had one around. Yeah, The Atlas of Perfume Botany.
Wow.
Well, that's a good one.
And you know, you're talking about these wonderful fragrances, but he also talks about the different ingredients and the different naturals that go into these fragrances. He also has, here's another one. So beautiful book. He got another one that talks about the actual fragrances themselves and his history with them. So absolute gorgeous perfumer, and the wonderful things that he's done for not only fragrances themselves, but also the whole industry at large and the history there. Jean-Claude Ellena. It'd be really nice to meet the guy. If we could ever get him in one of these perfume scent explorers or scent fest, wouldn't it?
It would be great.
Listen, gents, I gotta go. I've ran out of time, but it's been a pleasure. You guys have been great. Love talking with you guys on fragrances all the time. We got to do this sometime.
Hey, weekly basis. You never know.
Love it. Brian, Neil, take it easy, guys. I really appreciate it. I'll
see you, Brian.
Thank you.
All right.
You, buddy.
Bye-bye. What a way to leave as well with that book recommendation. That was awesome.
Yeah. Great book recommendation. Yeah. Let's see if we can find it. How much it is to show people.
And he's a weird guy as well, from what I hear. Like, I mean, weird in a good way. He's very peculiar. He's very particular. I mean, from what I hear about him, he's got his very own way of describing perfumes as well. Like, one funny anecdote I like to mention always is when he was asked why he doesn't use synthetic sandalwoods. I think his answer basically boiled down because they stink. So he's got some very, very strong opinions, and he's like, he does his thing, he does it well, but there's some limitations to what he's willing to do. And when you smell some of these modern fragrances, so I know a lot of people like it, but Matière Première, for example, for me is a house that I struggle with a lot, and they make very heavy use of these synthetic sandalwoods. And I think of Jean-Claude Ellena a lot when I smell their stuff.
And you think how Jean-Claude Ellena would say this stuff stinks?
Oh yeah, I think he would be. I mean, he would probably be nicer if he's talking to Aurélien Guichard, who made those fragrances, because I'm sure he respects him. But I could never see Jean-Claude making a fragrance like that. But that's actually, they're pretty affordable. Is that for the physical copy, 21?
Yep.
That's really good. I'm gonna heavily consider purchasing some of these books for myself now.
Yeah. So highly recommend checking these books out, because he's got 2 in the series. He's got this one as well.
I wonder what the difference is between botanical fragrance and perfumed botany. Because those are the 2 books, and I feel like that would be a similar topic. Oh, the follow-up continues the exploration. Okay.
Yeah. Huh. So this one's part 1, and
volume 2.
This is part 2.
Okay, and they're hardcovers. That's nice.
Yep.
That's a top tip. I'm gonna look into if I can get these in Germany as well.
Hopefully. I mean, I'd imagine.
There's actually so many good books that, when you think about how much money I just spent on fragrances, I should probably, I love this topic, I should probably spend more on the books rather than just the smelly stuff that I can never finish wearing anyways. So, yeah.
You could read the book and smell the fragrances at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the best way, yeah. That's the maximum enjoyment you can get, probably.
It's like a scratch and sniff book.
All right.
Ooh.
Maybe you should take some of his raw materials. Maybe he might have raw materials that, he suggests to try in the book. I haven't read the book myself yet, so.
Well, we know for a fact. We know for a fact that he has got a couple of materials that he really loves. So, one is definitely Isui Super, which is basically makes up around 55% of, I think, Terre d'Hermès, the formula of Terre d'Hermès. I think it's over half Isui Super. And it's just his genius that makes this sort of composition then work and smell so natural and mineralic and earthy and off the nature, even though it's heavily based on a synthetic. And then the other one that he really likes, as far as I know, is Galaxolite, which is a white musk that he uses very heavily in, for example, Ambre Narguilé, or Nargil, or I don't know exactly how to pronounce it. I think probably Ambre Nargil. But yeah, that sort of white musk features very heavily in that. And that's also material that Bertrand Duchaufour uses a lot. So when you smell Jubilation, that's also very heavily based on Galaxolite. And I have Galaxolite here, and when you smell it, you understand why it's so popular, because it's actually just a very, very nicely smelling musk. I mean, it's just clean, it's soft, it's a little bit fruity, it's a little bit sweet, but it's so subtle, and it doesn't shout, it doesn't overpower any of the other notes. So yeah, I mean, he probably likes those synthetics that let the other notes shine. That's, I think, sort of what I gather from his style, at least.
For sure. For sure. Brian, you want to talk about your experiences with
the afters?
The afters?
Yeah. It's pretty incredible. I wasn't sure what to expect. I purchased it blind off the notes, and I was a little worried, honestly, with the tobacco, cherry, patchouli. I was like, these are all notes I love, and therefore it can get redundant really fast with a collection. But it blends those notes in such a way. I don't have anything else like it, and I have a lot of tobacco things. I don't have anything like that though. So
it is extremely well balanced.
Yeah.
For someone's first fragrance to be released.
Yeah.
It is incredibly well balanced.
Yeah.
To a way that it's hard to believe that this is this person's first attempt at making a fragrance.
Yeah.
Or maybe should say that we don't know. Maybe there was tons of other attempts at making the fragrance,
Sure.
but this was the first one that they felt that, okay, I like this enough to sell this. This is perfect. And I can't really find the fault in it.
No. I mean, from the presentation of it to the scent to the longevity, I mean, it performed on me for all day.
Projects like a beast.
And it's also perfectly unisex. It's completely unisex. I don't think it leans one way or the other.
Even though the brand is kind of funny, because she designed the whole ethos of the brand is like hot chicks.
Yeah.
Fragrance made by hot chicks for hot chicks, basically.
Yeah. Well, and that's her brand too, though. I started following her on Instagram just to see. That's her brand. I mean, totally. So if you go into it looking at that, you may be scared away from it, but don't be. I mean, it really was well done. And
that's the beauty of places like Stell, is that have that opportunity to go into the store and try a fragrance that is brand new on the market. That he's the only place that you can find that in a store, and you can smell it, and you can be like, okay, well, this is awesome. I didn't know this brand until today, but I'm going to keep my eye out on the brand to see what they do next.
Yeah,
for sure. If this is their first release, so.
And I saw today they restocked their they call them their clutch sized bottles like this. They're 10 or 15 minutes. Yeah. And those bottles are really cool.
Like, it's not even really that a brand that's based out of New York. You would think maybe they would be more expensive. Like, there's some other brands that are based out of New York that talk about fragrances in a science fashion, and they're a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
For 100 ml.
The box, I noticed I think it says like bottled in or like product of Chicago, and that got me. Does this say that on here?
Let's see. It does say batch So they do their mixing in Chicago. So, hey, you should avoid eye contact. You shouldn't rub this stuff on your eyes. It says.
Noted.
Let's see. Maybe Openlick can pick out some notes here. I'll see if I can.
Oh yeah, those
Hold on,
notes
there we
look very fragrant. No, yeah, I mean, there's some musk in here. There's of course vanilla. There's patchouli oil. There's some, yeah, I think Virginia cedar. Of course, they say olibanum, cistus, so labdanum, coumarin is the tonka thing, limonene is something that's in citrus or also pine. Linalool is in bergamot, but also lavender. Geraniol, of course, in geranium or rose. Eugenol is the clovey thing. Benzylcinnamate is the cinnamony, spicy thing. Cinnamic alcohol. So they have lots of like warm, spicy notes in here and woody notes as well. And some resinous notes from those lists.
That's a lot what you get too. Like the way he was describing it, like yeah, I got a lot of that. Like when you smell it. So
yeah, it's interesting. Some brands really put like a long list of ingredients. There's this German brand that I've recorded a video but not published it. But they have a very, very long list of ingredients. I don't know if you can see this, but
yeah,
this is almost all of the ingredients are in here, like listed just straight up. Like you could probably at least reconstruct the ingredients. I mean, not the proportions, but the ingredients just from this list.
Yeah.
So if you see this one, Pogostemon Cablin oil, I actually learned this later. This is when you see this, it just means patchouli.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I'd rather appreciate a brand that does that, like shows you everything that's in their fragrance, than brands that just like don't show you anything. Like they show you the bare minimum, just enough to get by the IFA regulations or whatever they need to.
Yeah, like perfume, fragrance, alcohol, and water, and then maybe one more, and then you know already it's the whole thing's synthetic because they don't have to list any allergens.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So true.
I think there's a brand that actually publishes the whole formula because they say, well, first of all, you can't get our grades of ingredients anyways, and secondly, if you want to recreate it, you're probably gonna spend close to what it costs to buy from us anyways, so go ahead. I forgot which brand that was, but I think they had like this NFC chip or something that you could like scan it with your phone, and it would not only give you the batch number, but also the whole formula essentially.
Interesting. Do you remember the name of the brand?
I don't. I just remember that they did an interview on Persolace's channel. I don't know if you watch him, but it was one of those brands, and I forget which one it was. I have to look it up. If I figure it out, I'll I'll comment under the stream. I mean, if I remember.
The brand when you figure it out. I'd be interested to see more.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Like some of these brands, they go under, unfortunately. But I'll have to look it up. Actually, I'll try to remember.
And it really comes down to how popular their fragrance become for them to be able to become like sustainable and stuff. It's unfortunate because some brands deserve to stick around, while other brands maybe they kind of don't deserve to stick around.
Yeah, it just seems like some brands. I'm actually surprised. Like for example, not even because I think that they're all terrible, but like some brands like Mind Games, for example, I'm really impressed that they're still around because, to be honest, it feels like they made a big splash because they probably invested a lot into marketing early on. But it seems like there was a huge budget behind that, and I don't know how well they're doing because I've seen them on discounters already. So it's hard to gauge, but that's like one of those brands that I feel like has an okay level of quality, but there's nothing like exceptional about them, maybe besides the heavy caps and that sort of chest theme. Yeah, I smelled a lot of them, and I thought most of them were either just okay or, too sweet, too sort of, I've smelled this before some other place, that sort of thing,
I think I remember that they're owned by, right, a major conglomerate, right? Pretty much. It's just that's why they were able to get right into the big named brand stores.
Yeah, we have them here at Dillard's. I could go smell them. I tried. They were okay. They're one. What's their main one that's kind of a Ventisy but with mango?
Blockade. Yeah.
But it has a tomato leaf in it, I think, and I didn't like that. So I ended up buying Banana Republic, the Midnight Hour, for like $20, which is the same perfumer minus the tomato leaf note. And so it's perfect.
I should check that one out.
Yeah, you should. It's really good.
I heard good things about the Banana Republic fragrances. Apparently they have some nice ones that have been copied by other brands after.
Yeah, there's a few. I own 3. I have Midnight Hour. I have Vintage Green, which is kind of a Oolong Cha, but a little more green than that. It has a little more of that kind of bitter, sharp petitgrain you were talking about earlier. And then I have Linen Vetiver, which just smells like clean linens, and that's when I work in theater. We kind of have a no fragrance policy in theater because of singers. But that's the one I find I can get away with because it's just clean. So that's a nice one. And it seems to last, and it seems to reactivate as you heat up backstage, so.
Just sound like some white musks involved in there because they tend to work like that. I started getting into like musks as well because I figured that some days maybe I want to take a break from like fragrances. So, but I still want to smell something and smell nice. So I put on a white musk, which is sort of almost like neutral, almost like a reset to me. Mm-hmm. So I picked up this one here, the Juliette Hazelgun. I don't really love this brand as a whole, but the Musc Invisible, that one I smelled in Paris, and it kind of grabbed me immediately. I was very, very impressed by this one, and I'm typically very critical of this brand because they kind of turn me off with the way they market themselves. But this one is very, very nice. I mean, it's a very well blended musk. And the other one that I recently got is the Kiehl's Original. I don't know if you've smelled this, but this is like apparently quite the classic, and I'm late to the party. But yeah, this stuff is still being sold after a long time, and you can get these 50 mLs for like $35-$40. And this is like a really well done musk as well. It's kind of old school. It's a little bit
it's like a leather musk.
No, it's more like human skin. I mean, it's more like somebody alive but still clean. I mean, it's still. I think it leans clean. Some people say it's very animalic, but I don't think so. I think it's more like somebody that's alive but still clean, like washed.
Okay, isn't that the one, Neil, that your friend at Osme in your interview was talking about? His dad wore that or something, right? Was it Kiehl's musk?
No, 10.
Oh,
okay. Tunisia 10.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Got it.
That's like another classic, and I think that's one of the. Yeah, it's one of the first ones with isobutyl quinoline. So IBQ, that famous dry green leathery note that was then used in a lot of other fragrances like Antaeus, for example. But yeah, it says here the history of the musk oil. Kiehl's extensive history with essences originate in the mid 1800s when we customized scents to suit the burgeoning society of New York City. Our original musk oil is believed to have been created in the 1920s at our original Kiehl's store in the East Village, discovered there in a vat labeled Love Oil. Crazy. In the late 50s, Kiehl's signature scent was reintroduced to our patrons in 1963.
They sold me on Love Oil. I'll
Yeah.
buy it for
The
that
name
alone.
right there. Love
Yeah, that'd be a great
I mean,
band.
Yeah, it's a little bit mature,
My
but I think
favorite hair band of the 90s.
Right. You said it's a little mature, Overlicht?
yeah, I would say I'm just sprayed
Okay.
some on my skin. But I think it's a good one. It's a good must. This one again, as far as I know, is very heavily based on Galaxolite. So if you want to get an idea of what Galaxolite could smell like with a little bit more of a powdery, I think there's notes of orange blossom, rose, ylang ylang, patchouli on top of that. But it's mostly Galaxolite and like maybe a hint of something slightly animalic. Yeah,
For the
it's nice.
price,
It's really nice.
Yeah.
You can get that floral thing. You can get something slightly don't want to say quite milky, but a little bit like a skin that has like slightly salty, slightly lactonic, slightly sour. It's not sour. It still leans more like soft and sweet, but that sort of slight acidic skin thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
Just smell it.
If you are near a Peel store, maybe they have it in there. You can smell it there because
Yeah, I'm about to go by there.
yeah, it's nicely done.
Since we have Sean in here now, Sean, you all were at dinner earlier when we were talking about all your samples you sent me. I really love this Liquide Gold. What's everyone's experience with Liquide Imaginaires? Have you all experienced any of the house besides?
I've smelt a few of the house, a lot of them actually. Like at there, you can find them in like Dillard's and stuff too. Maybe not Dillard's, but one of the big ones.
Okay.
There were a few. The Desert. I forget the name of it.
Desert Suave, I think.
Suave.
Yeah.
And that I believe is a Quentin Biche.
I think you're right, and I think it's an amber, like a spicy amber.
Yeah. I was just researching it today. I was watching actually an Osme, because that was the first brand that Osme brought in when they opened in Miami. And so I was listening to him talk about the house, and then they replaced it with something else, and then they brought it back because they loved it so much. But it's a pretty large house. They've got at least 15 to 20 in the line.
I think even more. It's something that I wanted to check out before because they're also heavily discounted oftentimes. I think a few of them are interesting. Like they have one that's very close to Black Afghano. I think it's called Fortis.
Yes.
Yeah. Hello, Sean.
Hello.
Welcome.
I heard Liquide Imaginaires, so I had to jump in.
It's right here.
Yeah, Desert Suave is a fantastic one. The one that I have a full bottle of is, oh my goodness, it's from their blue line that they did basically where it was evoking the elements.
They did they did 4, I think.
Yes, it is. If you keep scrolling, it's not one of those. Those ones you can get for like $60 on Fragflex though, which is insane.
Yeah.
The quality of the house is pretty substantial. Homme de Cure is also a good one. It just reminds me a whole heck of a lot of 1899 in the dry down. And so I was like, I can't really justify picking that one up. It's delightful, but it does have a lot of overlap for me at least. It's oh my gosh, how am I not remembering this thing? You got to keep going. You got to keep Lacrima or Lacrima, that one. The Eau de Parfum is the blue one actually. This is a fancier one, but than I have. It's a gorgeous bottle, right? Like there's some interesting things with the house 100%. That one is a incense that I can wear in the summer. Is Lacrima. If you scroll down just a bit more, it's that first one in the blue one. Yeah, there you go. That first one there. Yeah, and it's again like it looks like something that like you wouldn't catch me dead wearing that in the summer, but it's actually fairly light and kind of airy in the way that it presents itself. It is one that when I do the Black Death and I dress up like a plague doctor in school, I wear this because it has an incensey facet to it. It's very meditative. Obviously, it's more like that Elemy aspect, but it comes off quite incensey and woody. That's a nice one. There's a few other ones. I actually am interested in the silver version of Imaginaire. That one's interesting, and then the Buddha blend one also looks interesting. This is from a. I'm not entirely sure what that line is supposed to be. That's in the different looking bottles. But the Buddha wood one looks like something I'd be interested in. It's a citrus, kind of creamy, woody sort of one. And people talk about Fortis as well as being a really popular one. So
Yeah, this
launch
one's here.
launch bet, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, still needs
The
to
white-
with that. It's
Yeah, like it's
a white
a milky
floral, isn't it?
lactonic kind of thing. I think I
Yeah.
bought like a 5 ml of that for Saga, and we both tried it and we were like, it's fine. Really, what it was is I think I should have just got Bianca Latte and a 5 ml of that. That's what I was actually looking for, you know.
fine.
But
But now you got Tonka Latte, so probably even better, right?
Tonka Latte, man, when she wears that, that brand is so underrated for what they're producing. The sillage bubble on that, like she enters a room and it'll be like 7 hours in and the room smells of this like beautiful Tonka powderiness. It has that sort of elegance and classiness to it, but also not presenting itself as being a bit too old-fashioned, which sometimes Tonka and powder can get to that point where it comes off a bit stuffy, but not with this one, not with that one. I want to look at I believe it's Pelagos from the brand. It's their kind of interesting take on a sort of aquatic-y grease is what they're evoking. So that's kind of cool. But yeah.
I wanted to try Erewhon, I think, and the other one is Oud Infini.
Yes,
because,
Oud Infini, a lot of people like.
It's like very Marmite, I think, Oud Infini, but it's I think already discontinued. I keep seeing like bottles on the secondary market, and it's like an insane thing to do to buy like $150 oud fragrance that apparently smells like shit blind. But
Yeah.
there's like this morbid curiosity in me that feels like, oh no, but I'm sure I'll love this because it's so
You're
edgy.
just crazy enough to do that, though, is the thing. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's like, hey,
So exactly.
this thing that everyone says is fecal. Throw it in the cart. Let's go. No, I get that.
Give me
Oud
that.
I think Oud is the one that I would highlight as like that's one of my notes that I'm like, that's never gonna be like just a blind buy for me. Where, see, I take that back because I definitely that nectar olfactive fragrance, which is just a mango oud. Yeah, do as I say, not as I do.
I feel you.
Yeah, Liquid Gold though. I got that. That is one that I sampled because I saw the notes. I saw who perfumed it. And I was like, it's got to be good, right? I like saffron. I like orange blossom. I like vanilla. And that one I got in the winter, last winter. So not even the most recent one we had, but the last winter. And it stuck with me so much that I'm like, I am going to get this. I am going to get this one. So that one has jumped up, I would honestly say, is like in top 10 kind of contention for me about like where I feel about that fragrance. The one like small drawback is I believe that was technically a limited release, but not hyper limited. So it is a little bit more expensive than some of the other bottles like Lacrima, which you can get for like $60. Abyssus, all of those blue bottles you can get on Fragflex for like $50. Which again, wild that you can get something like that with that kind of quality. But
What is a good
It's-
price for gold? Would you say? What's a fair price?
I got mine from Fragflex for 115.
115.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That sounds
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I can get one right now
yeah.
for 144. Is that? I mean, it's awfully good.
It's 100 ml for $144. I
Exactly.
just bought a Zernel Gilly fragrance for 30 for 100.
Right.
30.
You could
so,
do a lot
yeah.
worse.
That's
You
true.
could-
do a
yes.
lot worse.
Yeah.
Yes.
You could buy a designer for that much.
For a 50 ml, depending on the design.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No. That Hermes private line, it intrigues me. Hermes, it's one of those brands where, like, I think I've started calling myself a little bit of a perfume kind of maximalist, where I want all the notes and like all the ridiculousness. But then also at the same time, when I was in an area where fragrance was discouraged, let's say recently, I wore Versace Pour Homme, and every time someone walked into that hospital room, they were like, "It smells really nice in here. Did you just shower?" And I said, "No." And they're like, "How does it smell nice?" I'm like, I may have snuck something in,
Mhm.
A few things in.
That was the next step, is just interlude and see the last day, be like, "Oh no, what happened here?" But yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's-
but a buddy of mine, Sense for Thought Mo, he's like a doctor. I don't know if maybe you know him on YouTube.
Yes.
Sense for Thought.
familiar with
He
it.
does that as well. He does a series where he like wears different fragrances to work, and then he talks about like how his different fragrances, like how like, oh, today I'm in geriatry, so I wear these types of fragrances, or this time I've got a night shift, so I wear Koyum, and then I smell
Really?
like he did that. He did that.
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
I love it.
I think that for the most part, what I have found in my interactions when we talk about this idea that, certain people like just really have this adverse reaction to scent, I would say the predominance of people don't. Most of them have a pretty visceral reaction in the positive, where it's like, it's something new and interesting and they like the smell. Whereas I find, as with in most things in life, the people that raise the biggest stink tend to amplify the perception of things. That's what tends to happen. I'd obviously be courteous and things of that nature if I know that I'm going to be in like a meeting space where I'm in a very small room. I'm not wearing, like one time a student walked in for a meeting and definitely was wearing JPG Lamal Elixir. And I could tell. Want to know how I could tell? Because everyone almost died in that room when that kid sat down. I was like, did you just spray like 8 sprays of this before walking in the door? Like, what are you doing? It's summer. Like, come on.
Yes, we are in air conditioning, but still. Summer.
Something about decorum, young man. You need to learn that.
Gotta let the cat out, otherwise it's gonna start scratching and stuff.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think usually people that complain, like Austin's lovely HR people, or whoever, I think there's something else bothering them, and it's just the fragrance that sort of they pick up on, and that sort of gives them like that's sort of something they can latch onto, and it's really more than anything that probably would stand out to them would be something that would give them reason to speak
Just
up.
complaints.
And yeah, I mean, some people are just, there's something bothering them, and everybody can have a bad day, but some people just, they're perpetually sort of unhappy wherever they are, and maybe it's easy to complain about the smell of something. And I think you hit the nail on the head, though, because whenever I'm at work and I know that I'll be in the office for 8 hours with somebody else, I'll go a little bit lighter on the fragrance. But if I'm out and about, even on the public transport, I think because I'm in a big European city and we have public transport here that's very well developed, but it's also still full of people. And in general, it doesn't matter what I put on and how much I put on, I'm not going to be the worst smelling thing that those people will experience that day. And I've made it a point. Because my store that I bought these Hermes from, they also carry Frederic Malle, and they have a tester of the night standing there just for everybody to spray as much as they want. And that's a fragrance that's around $2,000 or something like that. And I'll just go there, and I've done that, and I will spray 12 sprays of the night with that big Frederick Maus sprayer, and then I'll go into the subway. And trust me, I know I'm going to smell quite pungent for like 30 minutes, but still, there's something elegant about that fragrance that
This
makes
is
me
the same guy, if we recall, that announced that when he sprayed Interlude on himself and rode public transport, he felt self-conscious. And you're out here 15 sprays of the night going, yeah, you're welcome, everyone.
I'm enriching your life right now.
Yeah.
I've maybe developed a little bit. There's maybe been some slight change in my perception, and maybe I'm sort of now a lot more nose blind to myself than I've ever been before. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think, like I said, I think maybe I'm being very naive, but I didn't get any comments. I mean, maybe I look just so lovely that nobody wants to complain about me. That could be the thing, but also it could just be that maybe I didn't notice anybody looking, but I was not buried in my phone the whole time. I think
if the subway system in Germany is anything like the subway system in New York,
It's
the
not.
smell of you is probably better than the smell of the subway.
Well, yes. Yeah.
No, it's
like
true.
The one time I had to extensively use the BART, which is the Bay Area Rapid Transport System, it just smelled like pee and weed the whole time. So
Yeah.
So it smelled like a
Yeah, we have
Masamado
that here.
fragrance.
That might be the
Quite
new
animalic.
that new one.
That might
Yes,
be.
quite animalic. Yes.
Maybe he should show him riding the public transportation system instead of going through the woods.
That might be a new series.
That's a concept. Sorry?
That might be a new series for you. You should do that and film it
Yeah.
and
Just,
see how many people, get offended.
Overspray and then wear like one of those meta glasses and see if anybody like looks at me.
Right.
No. But I think there should be like a fragrance that's inspired by the subway maybe. And then you could put in some oud in that as well. And maybe some civet and castoreum and costus and yeah, all of that good stuff.
The official smell of New York used to be urine, but now it's weed.
I thought it was Santal 33 is what they said, I think, at one point. That was the official fragrance of New York.
Yeah,
They
that's
love
It's
when
funny,
we
I
don't
actually-
to think that, but
I actually like Santal 33, and that's maybe like something very unexpected, like when you think about what I have like in my taste. But I kind of like Santal 33. I think
I
The interesting-
did too when I smelled it. I just don't think it's something. I did get a bit of that pickliness of it, but it wasn't
Yeah.
so strong that it was like off-putting to me. It just wasn't something I wanted to smell like.
I'm kind of a little bit pissed at myself because so the pickleness usually comes from Javanol, but the thing is, I was very lucky to be able to chat to Christopher Sheldrake in Paris, and he actually told me that he believes the reason Santal 33 does so well is a different synthetic than Javanol, and I'm for the life of me I cannot remember the name. It's something isomethyl something that he mentioned. I have to look it up, and I really have to check which one he meant, because I was very curious to hear that, because I always thought, oh no, it's the Javanol that makes that fragrance, because to me it smells like Javanol. I have Javanol here, and it does smell very strongly of Javanol, but that's also because Javanol is just very potent. Also, one of the most expensive Sunwood synthetics that you can buy on the market. I think I paid for 1 gram of Javanol, I probably paid like 12 euros or something like that. It's rather expensive. It's more expensive than many naturals, in fact. So
I think people misunderstand that a lot of times, where they think that if a fragrance is just full of synthetics, that they're cheap. No, some of the synthetics are more expensive than naturals.
Yeah, I mean, and also if you calculate it, like even so, this is the thing. So most fragrances, when you talk about fragrance prices, you talk about the formula and you talk about kilo prices. So you talk about the concentrate and you talk about the price per kilo of the concentrate. That's what brands basically calculate, and they give a perfumer a budget. They usually big brands will tell a perfumer, okay, we want you to design this fragrance. This is the brief, and this is your budget per kilo of concentrate. And a standard budget for a kilo of concentrate can range from anywhere between 100 and 300 US dollars for a kilo of concentrate. And you can calculate that down then. So say a fragrance is concentrated at 20%. So for 100 ml, you can calculate roughly, I mean, it's just ballpark numbers, roughly 20 grams of concentrate. That means, let me not lie, that means you get, what's that like? Damn, it's like 50 bottles per kilo. Am I off there? I think it's around 50 bottles per kilo at 20 grams per bottle. Please, it's a little bit late here.
I was going to say you're talking presently to. I have a history bachelor's, Neil.
I'm a culinary guy. I don't
Brian.
I barely measure anything.
So, artist, culinary, social studies. Do not ask math in this chat.
Yeah, I'm very sorry because I actually have a computer engineering degree, so I should know this, but it's just too late. But yeah, so 10 times 20 is 200, and 200 times 5 is 1,000. So that's correct. I mean, 50 bottles per kilo. And that's at a high concentration. I mean, usually you would get probably more like 100 bottles per kilo with the standard concentrations on the market. But even with 50 bottles per kilo, if you take the highest, which is $300 per kilo, you can divide that by 50. That leaves you with, I think, 6 euros. And that's 6 euros, oh, sorry, $6. $6 for the concentrate. Yeah. And the alcohol is basically gifted. I mean, you don't have to calculate anything for that. So that means the highest price with the highest concentration, which brands would sell as an extrait de parfum, at 100 ml, costs them $6 to produce for the liquid inside, and that's already best case scenario. Usually, you would probably calculate more like $150 per kilo, and probably like divide that by 100 rather than 50. So that means more like $1.50 for the juice inside. So the range is between $1.50 and $6 for a standard luxury fragrance, because some of these cheaper brands, they will go more like to $50 to $100 per kilogram of concentrate. So when you have that in mind, then you know that even if you put twice the cost of the fragrance concentrate, then it's still maybe like $10 to $12 at most for the liquid inside. And when you look at niche brands, they will charge easily $300 to $400 for 100 ml. It really doesn't move the needle as much as maybe if you put a fancy cap on that. The cap alone is probably cost them like $10 as well. Like a nice fancy magnetic cap costs them just as much as the liquid inside. So and I get it, because the bottle, the packaging sells the fragrance. Okay, so they have to do it. But that's why always I like, you know, when I spend a lot of money, I like knowing that there's quality ingredients inside, but it's good to keep in mind that doesn't actually move the needle as much as you think for a fragrance. And because I've been talking a lot, before I end, I just wanted to give a shout out to Nila Vermeer. This is the fragrance that I bought in Paris, because she made it a point that she uses a lot of high quality natural ingredients. Even still, it's still not a lot that, you know, for the juice inside, but her fragrances, this oil, this concentrate costs more like $1,100 per kilo. So it's more like 5 times the average cost, or 7 times the average cost for the industry, which you can tell, because this one does have really, really nice natural ingredients in that. And that you can only do that if you're willing to spend that much. And most brands are not willing to spend that much, even if it's still just a small fraction of the cost.
Yeah, just like when we had Salazar on, the Nice Niche Snobs. Oh, actually, that was before Nice Niche Snobs. That was just on Austin's channel. He talked about like making the oud is my love language, and how much money it cost him to get the actual oud to make the stuff that he was making. He's like, I'm barely making any profit off of this, even though I'm charging $800 for a 50 ml. Like, it's crazy to think like how much actual like cost there is.
The bigger brands, the other aspect that's a bit different, like, and they're going to lean into this more obviously because there's a number of different facets, because there's so many people that they go like, well, why don't I just buy a $20 clone then? Risasi's putting the same stuff in their bottles as everybody else. One, they're not. They're actually making choices to make lower quality ingredients most oftentimes. Like, you're not going to get anything remotely close to that. But the idea is the larger brands have a bigger buying power, so they have the capacity to purchase more of the fragrance. However, at the same time, there's some things going on, bottles, caps, etc. Then you have to hire a face to sell the fragrance, because you can't sell a fragrance to the average consumer because you can't describe an olfactive experience. So you have to instead evoke jumping into the ocean for Aqua de Jo. Then you've got to, on top of that, you have to pay for the ad campaigns. You have also this idea of, just in general, if Dior started producing $30 fragrances, I don't think people would buy them.
No.
It's the same thing. The perfect example right now is AP Royal Oak recently announced their collab with Swatch. And it's just like how the Moonwatch was with Swatch with Omega, where they're made out of plastic. They say, you know, a carbon thing. It's plastic. It's not carbon. And so the same thing that AP's doing, but they're doing pocket watches with the AP face, and they're Swatch plastic.
You okay there? I think you froze up a bit.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
It's just, yeah, it's a shocking concept, at least for Sean.
Back.
Hey,
Yep.
Keep moving your finger.
In and out.
So we can see where it stops.
Yeah, and it's but it's that same thing. Yeah, the bioceramic. They're super silly, but it's that aspect of it where those are going to be the justification that brands are going to make as to why they're paying or charging that much. To be honest with you, the brands, and OpenLeak knows this as well, because we run in similar circles in regards to like fashion content. Dior charges what they charge for Sauvage because Dior needs to sell bottles of Sauvage so Dior can have a runway show that they operate at a loss. Dior needs a couture line that they need to then sell to a clientele. How do you do that? Well, you make a bunch of lipstick and a bunch of fragrance for dirt cheap, conceptually, to like something that requires an immense amount of time and effort in the form of like hand knitting clothing, which that's a whole nother discussion, how that's not even happening anymore. And then you have to sell that because most of the time, oftentimes nowadays, a lot of the fashion houses, unless you're like an Hermes, your certain aspects of your fashion line are loss leaders. You're losing money on those types of things, so you need something like that fragrance line to make up for that. So,
as opposed to what other people try to say that they don't make any money off the fragrances and they make all the money off a fashion house.
That is 100% incorrect. There is a reason. The people have said, I forgot who mentioned it, where they're like, oh yeah, like runway shows make money. They don't. They're giant advertisements for the brand. That's what they are.
It's Joel. Joe showed up.
Hey Joel.
And I want to.
Joel would come on.
That would be nice. Yeah, he's always in chat. I always see him, and he's always wearing something cool.
Yep, he's wearing 1920 Ultramar.
Something to do with the ocean, maybe.
Yeah, it's very citrusy.
It's a nice one.
Yeah, we got samples of that one not too long ago.
But yeah, one thing I want to still say is like that the cost to produce is not the value of a fragrance. I mean, there is always an artistic aspect to fragrances, and it's the same for like when you go to a Michelin star restaurant, which I don't do because I generally cannot afford it. But and also I'm arrogant enough to prefer my own cooking. But the price of the food that you buy at such a restaurant is not because of the cost of the ingredients. Is you can make a very, very cheap dish, but the technique is what you pay for, and the effort, the time of the person making it is what you pay for, and that artistry. And I think there's a certain aspect that you should be respecting as well when you have a perfumer like Jean-Claude Elena, because I'm sure these Hermes fragrances, the formulas are very, very, reasonably priced to this brand. But the mastery that is displayed in this fragrance and the quality control that they put in there, because it's nicely filtered. I mean, there's no particulates in that. I had recently a video where I complained about that. And the quality stays consistent. When you smell an Hermes from 10 years ago and now, there's no discernible loss in quality, because my Vetiver Tonka is actually almost 12 years old or something like that. And I smelled a modern one, and the quality is still there. So they maintain the quality. Same with Comme des Garçons. And these fragrances are made in a way where the creative direction is, there's some sort of freedom as well for Jean-Claude Elena and Christine Nagel. There's not a brand that's saying, oh, we have to do that because market research says we have to satisfy this sort of focus group testing stuff. Same for Frédéric Malle. So the new Contre-Jour is a very bold release. If you smelled it, you know that this one won't be a big volume seller. It's very, very weird, that fragrance. Mitch, it's the Traillis, Trayyee. It's the sandalwood, spicy sandalwood, jasmine, oud thing. So I respect the fact that the blend itself is worth a lot, because like Sean said, Lattafa and maybe their fragrances are similar in price to designers, right? I mean, maybe they pay around $50 a kilo, which some designers are also paying, especially like, I think the worst offender is, as far as I know, which one was it? I think L'Oreal is one of the worst ones. Estée Lauder generally is known actually to afford a little bit better budget, but let's not talk about the controversies politically with Estée Lauder. That's a different story. But at least in terms of fragrances, people harp on about Tom Ford and overpriced, but in general, the Tom Ford formulas are a little bit more expensive than a lot of the competitors at a similar pricing. But I think L'Oreal is one of the worst ones, and there's another one that I forget right now. But yeah, they're very close. So when I smell the clones, in generally, I think where they become interesting is when you compare them to lazy designer releases, I think. Because those designer releases, they cost the same almost the same to produce, but then Sean is also right, the designers are just a little bit more well blended. So when I wear them, I will find that the clones generally get quite obnoxious around halfway through the wear. And I think that's sort of where they fall apart, because the designers, they will have that perfumer put a little bit more effort into making sure that it wears nicely. And I'm not a big fan. I mean, I recently
tend to only have like the top note. Like they're only kind of very linear fragrances, clones. They don't tend to have the layers that the actual fragrance tends to have. And that's why they do so well cloning designers, because designers tend to be kind of one linear note that you get, and you can get away with replicating that very well on cheap.
I think if I were to point, like I haven't bought a clone in forever. I can't actually remember the last clone I bought. Which is good. I would rather support artistic endeavors and get the things I enjoy. The one that I'd be intrigued in is any of them that are presently duping Prada Paradigm. That men's release that came out that said, everyone's like, it smells nice. It is the most milquetoast generic vanilla thing in the world.
There's
like 3 of them. Yeah. Which is hilarious. I was like, oh yeah, because it's just like, if you believe the thing that's intriguing to me is the thing that a certain creator on here who has his finger on the pulse of clones because he's in the UAE now and stuff, has talked about the idea that you can buy spec.
Oh,
Oh no!
Froze again in your monologue.
You have to start over because I want to hear this.
Damn internet connection and messing up your monologue.
Recipes from the fragrance houses of
Oh no. You're
Okay.
gonna have to start over. You're gonna have to start over. Because we lost a lot of that. We lost a lot of that. He's still kind of frozen too.
let's give him some time to recover.
Yeah.
The last thing that I heard was that you can, in the UAE, there's a creator that says you can buy the formulas
Okay.
for.
Can you-
Yes.
We kind of
Kind
heard
of.
you
Okay. I might try to plug it in here.
there. Run the wire. Plug it in.
Yeah. So, is the creator in question. He's talked about the idea that you can basically buy spec recipes from flavor houses of those fragrances, and then they literally put in those specs certain differences in regards to numerical values of it's like, hey, normally, let's just say Paradigm, since we were talking about it. Paradigm normally has this particular molecule, which is what the geranium is. They have it at a 5%. You're going to get one that's at a 2%, but it's the same exact formula beyond that. At least to my understanding is how he's explained it. The problem that I think is presented there is almost the same concept as like AI, where can you do it using a machine? Yes. Is there a human element that we miss out on in the sense of a perfumer making a distinctive choice and then providing that choice to multiple other people that then look at the brief, smell the fragrance and say, up the concentration, dilute, change this, change that, and there's and I think you lose Ek, or did I draw that?
We lost the critical last minute of that.
One moment. Oh my god. I hold on.
You're good now. You're good now.
Did you yank the cord out?
No.
Oh,
Hold
weird.
on.
You went right into his beard.
Yep.
We
there
just
we
put
go.
into the
I can't
beard.
It just
It's like-
blacked out into your beard.
Right? Can you
So
imagine
that-
if
is
I
that what you
don't
did
even
right
have a
there? They
LAN
said that
cable?
We're in the black hole. We're actually inside of a black hole. That was what it was like right there, gentlemen.
Also, I'm gonna get this out before I lag out again. But I'm pretty sure the brand Openleak was talking about was Perfume Sucks. They literally have the spec of the formula on their bottles. Like,
Oh, so that's what
yeah, that's that one. Andreas Wilhelm.
you mentioned it in the comments, and I was like,
Yes.
I posted it up, and so yeah. Let's
Yes.
see.
Andreas Wilhelm is the one that they straight up like have 5% of this molecule. Like, but they do, I think with the conspiracy line, I think it's something where they do it based off of the Fibonacci sequence, which I'm cool with that. I had to spend like a week talking about that in my, what was that class called? It wasn't math for poets, but it was basically the same idea. What was it? Experiences in mathematics. So when OpenLeak's running off 20 divided by 50, and then in, you know,
Sorry.
We're
No,
more
okay.
we're more about how does math make you feel?
right.
Yeah, right.
What was Fibonacci on about? How is a pine cone the perfected order of the universe in a spiral? Yes. See, if you zoom in on the bottle, you can actually see the numbers in the back there. See, 2.15 grams there.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. I like that brand. They also have like a hacking kit where you can like they'll send you for 750 neutrality bucks because they're Swiss. For 750, I think it's like the same exchange rate actually. So it's like 750 bucks. They'll send you like raw materials and like pipettes and stuff to make your own. kind of cool.
Huh. Interesting.
I'm interested. ZGO Perfumery carries this brand. I kind of want to inspect a little bit because the perfumer makes some of my favorite fragrances. He made a Nello.
Ah, that's the Per Noir.
Yup. It's that dude.
Okay.
And I like the idea of having a little bit of silliness with your fragrance brand, you know? Calling it perfume sucks. It's almost like slightly edgy, but not too much.
It says here he's a lover of jokes and laughter.
Would have never guessed.
I'm gonna turn my camera off and see if I can plug this in so you don't end up in the beard again, but hold
Okay.
on. 1 second.
Let me just try to recap your point. I think so. You said okay, they will basically change one of the main constituents in terms of percentage, or some of them of a known formula, and sell that to another brand or house. First of all, I am a little bit dubious. I feel a little bit dubious about that. I think it may not be as easy as that sort of creator says, because I actually don't know how the IP works there. But there's one thing that would speak for that, and that's the fragrance houses, so like IFF, Givaudan, Firmenich. They make the same amount of money selling oils to a clone house as they do to a designer house, maybe even more if they sell it to a clone house, because they can charge a higher rate for some reason, because the clone house wants to advertise that they use, Akigala wood or Mahonial or whatever types of captive ingredients that these fragrance houses use. So they are incentivized to sell their oils to these clone brands. But I think they probably have very strict contracts with designers. So Prada will probably have some very well-written contracts and stipulations on that thing. I'm pretty sure that Prada does not own the formula, but they have certain rights to the distribution of, similar fragrances. At least is my guess. But bye, Austin. But to be honest, one thing I also want to say is that Paradigm is, to my nose, absolutely awful, and I think any clone would be, not much more awful than Paradigm itself, because I can hardly imagine getting much worse. But I know people like it, so ultimately, what my opinion is just my opinion. So if you like that one, go ahead. I think my opinion is not worth any more than yours. It's just, to me, I can smell some certain ingredients in there, and I can smell a certain way of blending in there that I feel like it's. I think I'm being quite presumptuous and arrogant again, I think, but there's this very cynical way of marketing a fragrance like that, when they also say, oh, this is a paradigm shift, and we've turned the pyramid on top of its head. To me, it's very cynical, and I'm not a huge fan. And I like Prada. I like Prada a lot. I think they're an underrated designer in terms of. I really like what Daniela André does for Prada. I really like the Infusion line. I like basically all of the infusions. I think they're all good. I think some of the private line, like Cargo de Nuit, and I think Marienbad, are very nice, and a lot of people don't talk about those. So it's not that I have an inherent bias against Prada. It's just I think that release is very cynical, and it's very cheap. It's very nasty. It doesn't smell like any natural ingredients, and But on the other hand, I get why, because when I smell it, I think of stuff like Mont Blanc Explorer. To me, it is in that similar category of very amber woody, but also fresh, stereotypically masculine fragrances. And I'm sure it'll do actually quite decently for them, despite the criticisms and ratings online.
It is doing quite well for them, actually. And that's why they released the flanker to it already. When I smelled it too, I was like, what is this? This is just, I was expecting definitely something more from Prada when I first smelled it, and I was disappointed more than what Ren was disappointed at Rock earlier when Ren was going on about how he was disappointed with Rock, and I was just, I think you just had a vision of what you wanted to see of it.
Yes.
But Paradigm genuinely just smells like, it's also disconcerting that they call it like Paradigm, right? like they're changing the game of something. If they're changing the game to smell like what Paradigm smells like, I don't want to be in that game anymore. And I pretty much removed myself from most designers anyway. So
Ironic.
I think your internet has it out for you tonight. It's just like whenever you want to make a point.
I think they hit the nail on the head by referring to it as Paradigm. And hello, hi there.
It's funny. We always get like the rest of like.
Hello.
Go.
Yes, you're
Go.
there.
Yes.
Okay, instead of Paradigm Shift, call it Paradigm. Actually makes sense because it's a paradigm of what fragrance is currently, but they definitely didn't market it like that. They wanted to call it Paradigm Shift is really what they were looking for, even though it is the paradigm fragrance. It is the archetypal fragrance of this particular time period.
Yeah.
Oh, you did it.
Yeah.
Nailed it!
You should have like a
yes.
metronome behind you, showing like just so you can watch it. If you see the metronome stop, you know. Oh,
The worst is I have me on the TV in this room, and I just see my stupid frozen face every moment.
Earlier,
And I
you
sit there.
had the nice pose there.
Yeah, like
What's great is when you cut out, it cuts out, and then it continues the dialogue that we missed, and then it immediately cuts to you screaming,
yeah.
pissed off that it's frozen. Oh, that's good.
I'm literally hardwired in right now. It's
Your ISP has it out for you somehow.
yourself in any more than shoving it straight up your ass.
yeah,
Big Prada's watching.
it's
Yeah.
what it is. What I will say this, Prada, kudos to the Miu Miu new packaging where they use kinetic sand to make it look like ice cream because Miu Miu is a Prada subsidiary. Brilliant packaging. You literally like have to scoop out this kinetic sand and it looks like you're scooping out ice cream, and that's like what the fragrance is about.
Huh.
And that's cute and fun. And men sometimes want things to be cute and fun, okay? It doesn't have to be upside down triangles. I'm wearing a fragrance called Titan, which is hilarious because there's nothing Titanic about this other than the size of the bottle.
It could sink the Titanic.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is a raspberry.
Yes, that's what they hit in the ocean. It
This
wasn't
is what it
iceberg.
was.
It was that bottle.
Yes, and it's literally like it's just raspberry, lemon, and white florals, and some musk. It's very pleasant and delightful. Did not pay Prada Paradigm prices, and this does smell quote unquote feminine. You know, it's effervescent and playful, and God forbid a man be either of those.
Yeah.
Bring back your whimsy, gentlemen. Bring back your whimsy. It doesn't have to always be barbershops.
It's true.
My whimsy is wearing this one.
I was gonna say, ooh, yes. I am doing a video because I got in the other iris fragrance that I ordered because I made a promise to myself at the beginning of this year that I would procure more iris fragrances and leather fragrances.
And here we are, halfway through the year.
Halfway through the year, I have finally purchased two iris fragrances. 0 leathers at this point.
Yeah.
That's
the other half of the year.
lot more rose though.
Yeah. You'll get there. You'll get the leathers like in the last like 2 months of the year.
Yes. Yeah, but so one of them is called Red Flag, which is a smaller brand. They're an indie niche house. The bottle was a 30 ml for $45.
Love that.
And it's iris, orris, and beetroot. And I bring that up because Offenleak, being a Comme des Garçons fan, there's a fragrance from them that a lot of people highlight as being kind of a... People have made the comparison, there you go, of Rouge plus a Dior Homme intense / parfum kind of thing. And I said, well, that sounds delightful. Also, I don't have anything with beetroot as a note, so that's cool. And I like beetroot. I like beets. So.
Yes. Now, Rouge is fantastic, and if you haven't smelled it, you should definitely. I have 200 ml bottles of it because, of course, I do. The awesome part about Rouge is that it links beetroot, so very earthy, weird vegetal notes, via a ginger ivy combination to an incense woody base. and you have this mineralic incense with that earthy beetroot, and somehow it works fantastically together. It's genius. To me, it's genius, and I have two of them, and also it performs very well because I suspect a good dose of ambroxan in this. But as you may know, if you watch the video, I like ambroxan. I think ambroxan is good stuff. But yeah, that sounds interesting. So how nice is the beetroot note? How accurate is it, do you think?
I haven't opened it yet, so I'm gonna do blind sprays on it. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna do some blind sprays on that, and then the other one that I got it's the second bottle actually on there. Neil is the one that I'm talking about, Red Flag. Ramon.
I've heard about that one.
Siesta. Yeah, it's the dude on Instagram with the mask. I think you follow him as well, and I was like, hey, that sounds fun. Why not? We'll pick that up. And so someone was running a sale on it. They have this. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Oh.
You'll have to let me know how it turned out.
They have it at the. I'll let you.
But
know,
this also uses ginger.
Mm-hmm. They have this at the place you go to in New York, Neil. Sell.
They might
Ristel.
have it at the. I didn't see
the online one, maybe.
Actually, you know what? You might be right. They maybe did have this one. I have to check it when I go back to it because this, like I said, there's so many there. It's just like you can't smell them all.
Yeah, but I like the idea.
Neil,
what was that?
How long do you spend in there when you go visit?
I was there last time. I was there for about 3 to 4 hours.
Oh, good. Okay.
And I still didn't smell everything.
Sure.
Because I was talking a lot too with them, and the other people. But you also kind of like sit there and you maybe spend like 15 minutes on each fragrance you smell. Because you're sitting there smelling it and kind of analyzing it, putting it down, letting it kind of dry off a little bit, smelling the ones that are kind of next to you at the same time, then come back to it. And so yeah, you'll spend about half an hour in one section just kind of smelling the 4 or 5 fragrances that you've picked out, just so you can kind of get an idea of what they are.
Nice.
And then maybe you walk away from there and go to the other side and then come back over. Like you kind of meander through the store. It's not like you can mainline go around the whole thing and smell this. You would burn out real quick. It sounds like that. See, there's meander right there.
Sounds like a dream for me. I haven't experienced anything like that. Everything I've had is you're rushed in and out of Dillard's or Macy's, or all my real discovery stuff is done here at home with decants and samples, which is great. But I want to go in and take. There's a
difference in experience, right? Mm-hmm. When you're home spraying a little bottle out of a little sampler, a couple of things happen. One, sometimes you don't get the true experience of what the fragrance is, because it's not putting out enough oil for you to smell the complete picture of it. Sometimes it does. Sometimes you have fragrances that are simple enough to fit into the bottle and spray it, and you can get the idea well enough from it. Then there's other ones that, you really do need the more oils being sprayed out of the full-size sprayer to get the whole picture. So I definitely can appreciate, because I mean, often like you have your whole series where you sort out your samples, and I'm pretty sure are there times for you when you spray this, you've sprayed it in store and kind of get it home and spray it at home, and you have that difference of experience.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, there's, I think, like 2 or 3 occasions when I specifically mentioned in the video that this one is not completely blind because I've smelled it in store, but I don't think it's fair to say that it's like it's the same thing, because maybe that day at the store I just sprayed it on the card, I smell it. Sometimes I don't have the time to keep the card, label it, and take it with me and have it separated so that it doesn't get cross-contaminated with other smells. And it's just a first impression, and probably some alcohol still evaporating. So I then will still claim that as me blind smelling it at home, because I try to really not even look at the notes or other reviews of these fragrances that I sample there. Because to me, honestly, I also see it as a little bit of like an exercise as well. To me, it's also, I want to smell stuff blindly, and I want to put on record what I get from that, and then I will later go on, and sometimes in the videos I will later on check what the stated notes are, and maybe sometimes even disagree with the notes, because I guess there's a little bit of a feeling now that I've smelled enough that sometimes maybe I can pick up on brands hiding some notes that they don't want stated, or stating some notes that I don't get. Because a lot of times iris, for example, is a listed note, but in fact there's no iris in it, which I think is fine, because it's such an expensive material, and there's a lot of good accords that you can build with materials to replace iris. But I guess sometimes I feel like maybe it's giving people the wrong idea about iris, because a lot of people still think that iris is a floral note, because a lot of times they will smell a fragrance with iris, but in fact it's just violet that they're smelling there, not iris at all. But yeah, I mean that series is like something that I do for myself just as much as for like people that want to not spend like tons of time, because I feel like a lot of times people don't actually want to watch somebody talk about one fragrance for 20 minutes, even though there's a lot of value in that. But I guess some variety in content is nice. So I like doing that as well, because it's also easy for me to record. And it's very important for me, as this is like a hobby, and I want to try to put out like 2 to 3 videos a week. So I have to find some way where I can make it fun and not a huge roadblock to record the content and still provide some sort of value, because I don't want to put stuff out that it's just a waste of time for somebody to consume. But yeah, I like doing that. And also, yeah, I still have a lot of samples to go through. There's still some stuff that I need to get through. Like just these as well, like some of these here.
I'm in the same boat. I still have like tons of things that I still need to smell. I have a whole house of fragrances right here that I need to go through. There goes something.
I think you may have more than I do even.
I might.
I'm actually like catching up.
I need to go through this house, and try them out.
Yeah.
I kind of did not.
I'm really interested.
I did not like this brand that much.
I've heard mixed opinions, right? I mean, so Mo, I mentioned Mo earlier, and he and Seldomly Often, I think they smelled that brand on a video, which was a really fun video as well. I think they were, in general, quite positive about it. Mm-hmm. And they even like talked a little bit about the controversy, because they have a fragrance called Dahmer that that has notes of like carpet and poppers and beer. And there's a coordinate of like one of the houses that he had one of his victims in, and there's a little bit of a debate on how where the artistry ends and where it becomes just a little bit maybe too much, because some families of the victims of Jeffrey Dahmer may still be dealing with some sort of trauma. So I think I see both sides, right? I don't want to be the moral apostle, but on the other hand, I think, I don't know, is it maybe just a little bit too edgy? For me personally, it's a little bit too edgy. It's a little bit bordering on that sort of Tosquat idea, where I can respect it, and I know there's a place for it in the market, but I think I'm not the target audience.
For me, like the names or like the themings wasn't the problem for me. I think it was just the olfactive nature of them. They smelled. They just, I don't know, something about them smelled very like chemically, very like factory kind of.
Right.
It did not smell like perfume. I don't understand that. They're trying to do interpretation, but it wasn't like wasn't perfume at all. It was something very medical that I just did not jive with me that much.
I think too, specifically the Dahmer one, the best way that I could ever equate that is John Waters once, I believe, had a quote something to the extent of there's a idea of good bad taste, and that to me, that particular fragrance, I think my response to you when you posted that picture was, oh wow, don't cut yourself on how edgy that fragrance is, because it's cringe, like it is. I can appreciate art in a multitude of capacities. Hell, I can even appreciate like true crime done in a proper way. But that particularly, I think the poppers note is what really got to me explicitly, where I was like, the whole premise of what Jeff was doing didn't really necessitate that. Like, that wasn't what the cruising scene looked like in that time period. So there's like an aspect that's like, be accurate about it. It's like we knew he was gay. That was kind of his whole big deal. Poppers and stuff like that wasn't really a thing. He was getting blackout drunk to commit those murders. And so I don't know. It's just, I think if you're going to tackle things like that specifically, I believe in the idea that you do want to. I have no problem making a mockery of Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, these guys that did these terrible things. That's not what that fragrance is doing. It's trying to evoke Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment, and at that point, it just comes off as like tasteless, and in not a good way. Like the Toscavat things, like I get it. That though, that certain things about that brand make me just go like, did you stop maturing after high school? Like hey man, you know the world's messed up. Hey man, did you know the church has done terrible things to people? It's like, what? What are you gonna do about it, champ? I'm gonna make something that smells bad.
I'm gonna make a perfume.
You got me. You got me, pal.
Some fragrant water that smells bad.
Ah, yes.
That'll show them.
Yeah,
I'm an artist, and it's like cool. And you're donating proceeds to help men. No. Oh. Okay. I'm not saying that everybody has to be
right to my pocket, Frank.
I'm not saying everybody has to be an activist, but there's something that rings a little hollow when someone is obviously trying to be in that lane and claim to be this type of person, and then in actuality it comes off as a grift, where it's like, you know, that's kind of the thing. Like it's the same premise. Like I wouldn't necessarily continue to buy Zernel Gilly fragrances just because it's black-owned perfumery if I didn't enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's the thing. I would have gotten a house and been like, it's not for me. Happy to have it, but like not for me, and then I would have moved on. Like that's not the case though. So I believe, you know, at the end of the day, if you are going to do artistic mediums with fragrance, and I believe there's an art form obviously to this, there is also that aspect that art form then has to be a thing that you want to wear. Like I have that I have the Basilica di Assisi fragrance from, oh my goodness, his name escapes me. The guy that's the Pope's clothing designer.
Filippo Sercinelli.
Yes, thank you.
That was very Italian. I apologize for my.
It was good. It was good.
But
because when I say it, it's like Filippo Sorcinelli. And he would probably be pissed at my pronunciation. Anyway, that guy, that's art. Like that, and it's still wearable to me. I like that fragrance a lot. It is not something that it's not Prada Paradigm, I'll tell you that. It smells of a bygone era, done in a really great way, but I like sometimes to smell like I'm from a bygone era. I am from a bygone era, as my wife just told me. I am 36, you know, I'm getting up there. An old soul, yes. Good backpedaling. Anyway, but yeah, that's I don't know. That was the thing. I was like, when you posted that thing, I was like, really? It's the same thing. I might also be like, you know, working up to making a video about how a few brands have done American Psycho fragrances. And I might be critiquing the way in which those are presented and why it inherently doesn't work as a concept.
I think it really comes down to like there's a song lyric by Queensryche, right? The line is selling sex or selling God. The numbers look the same on the credit card. If you're selling the fragrance or selling the tragedy itself, it's kind of like the same kind of thing here, you know. And the difference is if you're explicitly saying, "Hey, look, I'm bringing awareness of this topic, and then I'm donating the money to people that were harmed by this to with the profits I make." I'm not even making profits anymore. I'm just like donating the money, and the fragrance is basically kind of just being paid for at cost. I mean, that's a different story, but they're not doing that. They want to make money.
And we're guilty of it as well. Like, that's the thing, is in the context of this, that's a European house, right? It's French. So it's a French
It's Italian,
house.
I think.
Is it Italian?
I
Okay.
think it's an Italian influencer
I
that
think it
sort of
is Italian.
started. That's a YouTuber
Yeah.
that started.
God, so many things are adding up. But anyway, it's the same premise, right? Unfortunately, one of the feather in the cap of the United States is serial killers. We got some really good ones.
We got a lot of them.
Yeah, and well, not anymore. There's less lead in the pipes, so you know. But anyway, so what ends up happening though is you've got this idea of taking something uniquely from a region and using that as your inspiration. For the record, again, we do that all the time. Every country does it. But you take that thing and you go, okay, this is what is the inspiration, this is the story I'm telling, etc. And it goes, okay, it comes off as your understanding of the Jeffrey Dahmer case, who had massive implications to not only the gay community where he was living, but all their families and a multitude of other things. And you're just going, I watched a 30-minute interview of him in prison and it was really interesting. Or God forbid, I watched the Netflix special. Something like that, and saying, okay, I'm just gonna do this now. Like, there's no sort of thought process. And it's like, if there was a thought process, if there was research, if there was all these things that were done, the final product doesn't show that in any capacity. And it's difficult to present nuance in this type of medium. I get that. Then don't attempt. If you can't present nuance, don't attempt it, because it just comes off as another thing for some influencer to post top 10 terrible smelling fragrances. This smells like a guy who killed people in his apartment, and it's like, great.
It sounds a lot like being tone deaf, you know, just not for sure.
And there's a fine line, and I don't want to assume too much in terms of like the intention. There's a certain appearance of like how it comes off, as Sean described. But I don't know the person behind the brand. I'm sure he is very passionate about perfumes, and there's like Lynch that I think I might even like, because I definitely like Styrex, and I like this sort of smoky ambery stuff. But on the other hand, there's ways of doing artistic fragrances that seems a little bit more purposeful, a little bit more well thought out. I guess I'm also probably just biased, but I mean, Christian Astuquier, who sadly passed away, I have to mention him again. There's actually a recent release by Comme des Garçons that's basically the sort of send-off fragrance to him, if that's even the right word. But like, that's the last fragrance that he apparently, or one of the last fragrances he worked on creatively, called Tout Vetiver, which is by Antoine Maisondieu as well. But yeah, so Comme des Garçons, for example, like black. This fragrance, the concept is simply, we want to make a fragrance that smells like the color black. So all of these notes are black. And this fragrance, not only is it, I mean, it's very innocent, I guess, in the premise. I mean, there's nothing, edgy about it, I guess, besides maybe that it smells a little bit like tar and leather and licorice and dark stuff. But it's also just wearable. And I think it was very explicitly created in a way that it's both unique with some edge, but also wearable and meant to be worn. And I'm personally a little bit frustrated as well with how Sécrétion Magnifique is sort of, dealt with in the influencer sphere, and I get it because you have to make, like, even I did some little bit of clickbait with the titles for the content around that fragrance, but at least the stuff that I said in the video is, I think I went in there with the intention of truly evaluating this as a fragrance and what it smells like, because I'm firmly of the opinion that Antoine Lee, the perfumer behind, probably I'm also just very into his stuff. I respect his work a lot. I think he very firmly intended it to be a wearable fragrance. I think he seriously intended for it to be both edgy and really display all of those bodily secretions, but on the other hand, be something that people can actually wear, and unironically wear, not just wear because it's edgy, but wear because they want to smell that way. And I think that sort of goes under when people talk about it, because people just think of it as a joke. People think of it as a vanity project. People think of it as something that they produce for shock value. And
also,
of course, that is a component of it, but it's not
when
all.
You read the notes, like if you don't read the notes of some of these things and you just spray on the fragrance by itself, completely taken away from the note breakdown that they show, you may have a different type of like reaction to it. But some people, when they see those notes that are in the thing, they get like, they'll have a physical reaction to that note breakdown. It's not even about like just fragrance. It's about like just food, because that's something I experience a lot at work. You can tell somebody a type of food and something that they hate. Like one of my fellow managers at this place that I work at hates rice, hates the smell of rice. And she'll almost gag at the thought of the smell. So like when you take that into account, as far as people, when they smell a fragrance, it could be like just that mental perception of the note make them gag, or give them a type of like thought of inception of, I see the note, I smell the note.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, absolutely, you're right. And I like the food analogy as well.
I think secretion specifically, though, too, like the whole conceptual idea of that is when you have like magnifique, like I think that fragrance was designed to be a celebration of literally everything. Good, bad, like indifferent in regards to like the human body, right? That's kind of the intention of it, is all of the possible things that make us us, you know, let alone going into, and again, this is like, for the most part, this is well above most influencers' interest in providing some sort of understanding of things, like the humors and the idea of like, we used to believe in medieval history that you had to like, hey, you got too much bile in your system, or you have too much blood, so we're going to bloodlet and stuff like that. It goes back even to that conceptually you can like look at. But again, that would take thought, a interest in learning and understanding the world around you, not being a child, not selling products to children. So those are all things that influencers just can't deal with. So why would I expect them to have an understanding? That's why when you made that video, I was like, how pleasant, someone that's actually talking about it for what it should be spoken about. Like, I was bummed out that my discovery set didn't have secretions, not because I was like, oh, I want to feel sick, like that. No, I wanted to be like, I want to spray this on and go, actually this is pleasant, and people are freaking out about it for no reason. That's what I wanted to do.
I'm actually close to buying a bottle of it, to be honest. Not because I feel like particularly inclined to wear it all the time, but because I think it is truly an important landmark fragrance in the history of modern fragrances. That's the same reason I have this fragrance here, which, you know, is infinitely more wearable, I guess. But to me, it's a challenging wear because it is very heavily based on synthetic sandalwoods that, you know, I have some sort of overlap with Jean-Claude Hennelin's opinion about. But I have this fragrance because I think it's truly important. I mean, even though it may not be the very first of its type, I think it's definitely it set the stage for a sort of modern sandalwood spice resin based oud fragrance that then came later, and that's why I have it, and that's the same reason I kind of want Sécrétion Magnifique. That's the same reason I have certain Guerlains. Although the Guerlains I do actually truly think are beautiful, but I don't wear them a ton. I mean, let me bring out a couple. So Vol de Nuit, for example, which is the Galbanum Chypre that was inspired by the book of Saint-Exupéry about this night flight. Beautiful story. I want to give you a recommendation. There's a video by Memory Flow, Memory and then FLO. He did an absolutely stunning video about Vol de Nuit, and I think everybody should watch that one. He's a seriously underrated guy. And then also I have L'Heure Bleue, the Blue Hour. These are, to be honest, not easy wears for me because they have a certain gravitas about them that I can't wear all the time. And I just recently got this one, Après l'ondée, so after the shower, which is actually the precursor to L'Heure Bleue. And I buy these because I'm also into the history of perfumes. And that's why I also think of like purchasing a bottle of Sécrétion Magnifique. And I don't think they actually do samples at all. I don't think they even have samples at the store if you ask them. They may do you a decant, but as far as I know, I've never seen a 2 ml official sample of Sécrétion Magnifique, and at least not that I know of. Yeah, but they just sell the 50 ml.
There's a big reason why they don't give out samples to that, though, or sell samples to that, because most people just want to buy it to, like, oh, I sprayed it, you know.
Yeah.
They don't care.
And it's a bestseller for them.
About actually finding if it's a good, or if they want to like it.
Yeah.
So
I think it's quite an achievement because the accords are actually really interestingly made. I mean, there's seriously a saliva accord in there. There's this blood accord. There's this other S accord, and you can smell all of that. It's all in there, and it's no lie. I mean, it does smell of those things, but it's still, you can still tell it's a perfume because there's musks in there, there's floral notes in there, there's powdery notes in there, and it's just. I think it's also something that influenced Antoine's whole career because he since also used some of these accords in later fragrances. So it's definitely also an exercise for a perfumer because I think he probably put a lot of effort in that. So I have a lot of respect for it, and I have a lot of respect for it, and that's why I'm thinking of purchasing a 50 ml. And I do think it's not an easy wear, at least for me. But I don't think it's unwearable at all. And I think, of course, a lot of it has to do with the suggestion of what it's supposed to be. And I think the history, by the way, actually is that it's supposed to be a whole story. There's a video of Antoine talking about it. So it's like the love between two people. It starts with the rush of blood that comes from the emotion of love, the saliva of the kissing, and then the culmination at the end, you know? I think there's this whole story that he had in mind, and it's not just like I said, it's not just edginess. There's real intention kind of.
The problem is in the audience too, because I'm actually reading all the Fragrantica reviews, and there was this time when I worked in Vegas. There was a night we all gathered around the work table, and we were reading the Amazon reviews on sugar-free gummy bears. Which, if you've never done that,
oh
yes, because
yes,
it has maltitol in it, which makes you go to the restroom, and every single review you could tell was just trying to outdo the last, and that's what it seems like. They're just regurgitating what they've heard one or two influencers say, because they got a 2 ml decant so they could have a reaction video, and it has nothing to do with the art, sadly.
Yeah, no, it is one of those things where, again, who's it geared towards? When you're talking about people making influencer content like that, it's geared towards usually children.
Yeah.
Which again, that brings up a whole nother weird aspect to this whole thing, that's the fragrance that you're spraying and going like, let's talk about this and weird out about it.
Mhm.
And it's like it just comes off as very locker room
Mhm.
aspect. That is the humor. But I agree with you that it is now sort of jumped the shark, and it's become the who can out gag the person, and then so the next thing, then there will be another fragrance,
Mhm.
and Jeffrey's too niche at this
Mhm.
point.
Right?
It could be something like that.
Yeah.
It'll be something in that sense of like people go like, oh god, T-Rex, and I go, I probably would spray that on and be like, oh yeah, I would keep it to the colder weather, but this is nice wear, you know.
Mhm.
Like Teroni smells like barbecue to me, but in a really good way. You
Yeah.
know, that's kind of the thing. Like and perhaps I'm a bit more understanding of kind of what the influencer stake is like because I work with the target audience every day.
Mhm.
Because that was the thing. Like I wanted to make a response video. I don't think I'm gonna specifically like make a response to him, but yeah, exactly. They're still doing it. But I asked one of the German exchange students, I'm like, do they say Sechs-Sieben? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, God help us all. But the comment, or it was Noel Dizelle or whatever, the guy that's the bodybuilder who also makes fragrance content.
Yeah.
He posted a episode, or he posted a short, and he has one of the other Memento fragrances similar to the Basilica di Assisi one that I have, and it's just doing bits with the hand. And I'm like, do you understand? I mean, I hope you do what that hand is and like what that is representing, because you're like picking your nose with it, and like certain people, like really hardcore Catholics, would not be happy with you doing that because of what it's representing. So yeah, there's just some aspects of that where I wanted to like make a video where I do a full review of the fragrance and be like, what are we doing here? Like, take a moment. Like, I understand, and perhaps I have too much reverence for what people produce, but I just do. Like, I have so much immense respect for artists that to make like light of it, I don't know. I can say that freely. I haven't high-fived the damn bottle since I bought it. I haven't shaken hands with myself with the bottle, okay? I've been a good boy. Yeah. And I'm not even Catholic. So I can get away with it.
No harm, no foul.
No, not at all. I would just sit there and I'd be like, I don't recall this being in the book.
You got canceled by somebody.
That's what happens when you say you're not Catholic, man. You just get cut off.
Straight up cutting you off. You're living in Texas. That's what you get.
That was
Listen.
that was a higher power right there.
May the Catholic Lord turn off my internet if... Wait a minute. Oh no.
Wait a minute.
That was good timing.
Oh god. Okay, I'm getting off because that's starting to irk me. And
Irk you, yeah.
It kind of kills the vibe of the conversation with y'all. So I appreciate it as always, gentlemen. Appreciate the insights. Lovely having a chat with you. I'm tagging in John C. Let's go. He doesn't freeze. Wait a minute.
See you, buddy.
See ya.
So you already took off his headphones, but if you're still listening, Sean, it was good to see you so chipper, because last time I heard you were still in the hospital. So yeah, very, very, very nice to chat for sure. And I'm also probably
going out of the hospital.
Probably gonna call it for me as well. I'm sorry that the stuff when one leaves the party, that sort of starts it all. But I hope.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah, I have to go as well.
It's after 3. It's after 3 a.m. here, so I think I'll just call it. But it's been lovely, and I feel like today there was a lot of very healthy and in-depth discussion. Like maybe even Neil, maybe it's even worth to cut out some of the bits if you want to and upload them separately. I think there was a lot of really interesting content here, but your call, of course. And then I'll try to, because the brand I was thinking of was not Perfume Sucks. There are apparently another one, but I'll try to remember to look that up. And then if I can, then I'll post a comment. Otherwise, then maybe you have to poke me and remind me to do it another time. But yeah,
it's a little late. You might forget.
Yeah. I'm just giving myself an out. But anyways, it's been lovely, and I hope you guys have a great evening. And until next time. I mean, I'll see you around the nice niche knobs as well, Brian. Enjoy that cedar, and good luck with all the paintings. Maybe one day you can show some off there. I'm very curious to see what sort of stuff you do.
Yeah.
But yeah, see you guys. Take care. Bye bye. Good night.
Have a good night. So I guess with that, we'll close it out.
Let's do it.
And I want to thank everybody for coming by. Thank Ren for coming by. Joe A. Decants. Go check him out. His website. He sells decants of just about everything he owns. So reasonable prices. Thanks to Brian here. Go check him out on Instagram. Go plug yourself, Brian, on Instagram.
I'm at Brian Johnson Creative, BRYAN.
Thanks for Austin for popping in just for a few moments to show off his watch. Thanks, Austin, for showing off your watch. I hope the Korean barbecue tacos were delicious. Okay. Hope Ren also enjoyed, since he said he was getting off just so he can go have some Korean tacos with you.
That's what it was.
Yes, that's what it was. It was completely that. And thanks, Ofenlick. Check out him on YouTube as well. Great content over there. Thanks for Mitch for coming in and hanging out for a bit. Thanks for Mr. Saga. Like we said happy he's out of the hospital. And looking forward to seeing some more content from him. Me and him are going to be doing some content talking about The Rock. So look forward to that. We'll be collabing on that one.
I'm excited to hear about
We've been
that.
thinking about doing something interesting. I don't know how we're going to do it with music itself. Like, I was thinking, since these things are so music focused, that we'd actually go ahead and try. Who cares? We'll make these videos, and if they never get money, they never get money. But we would like to talk about the music that we see these fragrance kind of inspired us to think of when we smell them. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that.
Nice.
And check it out. We may be back on Saturday for a nice niche snob episode, lining up for Saturday. So maybe Saturday 6:30, like our usual time. So stay tuned for that. With that, everybody take care, and we will see you soon.